I bet. I does the internet go down often there for you?
Not really. Not really. No, I
Okay.
got a pretty good provider. And once you're good, you're good. But there's always these exceptions with people having administrational problems and then having to deal with a big company that you have to fight and they're without internet for like 8 weeks in a row. And I never had that. So that's good.
Yeah, cool, cool. Well, yeah, you might need to upgrade your shit too. 'Cause you never know. People can be hitting you up because we did that last one and it went pretty well. People liked it. And so did you see the one
Yeah.
guy in the, I don't know if you read the comments. The one guy's
Oh
like, hey,
yeah, I did.
you should call a podcast called Death by Seth. I'm like, that's actually a pretty good goddamn title.
Deathmetal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, so when you said you had a couple topics that you wanted to go over, especially from reading the comments, and that's what we left off on the last video. We just said, yeah, we could do these, every few weeks or once a month or whatever,
Yeah.
if enough topics come up. And like I said, people in the comments put in the comment box give us ideas because, especially me doing videos every day, dude. Unless something brand new comes up, I'm like, whoa, this is really good to talk about. I don't have any
Yeah.
ideas. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah. So what did you want to go over today then, as far as today's list of topics?
Well, yeah, that first comment was pretty funny. That said that the page keys are the dog's way of a meet and greet. I thought that was yeah, I thought that was kind of funny because obviously they don't really see that it's a different medium. It's just a different thing. Having a YouTube channel to advertise your label with having stuff to talk about, and as a business guy is different than a band putting music out. Completely different thing. I kind of see it as the way that back in the day when we had Art Shock magazine over here, you could put an ad in there, and then you had to send them the money in stamps, like
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
much cents per word or whatever. Um, yeah, and it gets your name out there, gets your question out there, your thing out there. It's kind of like a promotional thing, like something you buy. I see that differently. So yeah, but not too serious, of course. I don't think even the guy was who posted it was too serious about it.
No, but I could definitely, even if someone was, I mean, I could see where they're coming from. But again, kind of where it started, and because yeah, people were getting pissed if I didn't answer their question. And
Mm-hmm.
I just said it. I just said it smart assly. I'm like, dude, if you want your question guaranteed to answer, I was like, just send like $10 directly to my PayPal. I was like, the reason being is that I'll get the PayPal notification to my email. They were bitching about
Yeah,
shit in the comments box where I'm like, so what if, put it this way, what if you left a comment on a video and let's say it was 2 days after the video? Am I supposed to go back and look at every video? Or what is the cutoff? When should I
yeah,
stop looking at the comments per video? You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
what I'm getting at is the odds of overlooking a comment, even if you were to want to, even if you don't want to hit up every one of them, is there's a
yeah.
very high probability you can overlook it. And
Mm-hmm.
you're doing a fucking free videos and because they're free to the person. I'm like, and then you're just gonna
Yeah,
get fucking yelled at for it. But again, it also gives the opportunity too. Like, I mean, hell, YouTube offers. That's what they do on the lives. I don't know how it works. Is that super chats? You're probably
mm-hmm.
completely out of loop what that is because I didn't know what it was. My brother Craig had to show me it's when he was doing his YouTube. He's like, man, you got to get set up for the super chats. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He's like, they could send
Yeah,
you like money, and it goes to your Google payout. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking do that shit. So he actually set it up on my did all the setup parts wasn't much, but that's literally something like the kids are hip to on YouTube. Like if you go
yeah,
watch other YouTube channels, I think some of the metal scene, but because I think jamming out all badass, yeah, he gets them, but other like the big channels like outside metal, dude, they get that shit left and right. I'm like, oh well, dude, this is just something else. Like so, I was already doing it. I just did it was my method of doing the way I knew how to do it. Like that's something that's like
mm-hmm.
normal in the social media world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's I don't even yeah, all that stuff you just mentioned, I have no idea what that is. I never got involved with all that kind of stuff. But it's not it's not what I do. I don't usually make videos online or whatever. I just play music and
but I
work.
mean, if you were a kid of today, like 20 years old, and you were just
Yeah,
starting a band, I
yeah.
mean, do you think you would do the social media thing like almost just by default? You almost have to.
You know, the thing is, I have social media. You know, I would have a social media account because, of course, if you have a new song and if you have a lot of contacts, and you know, most of the contacts I have now are either people that I've met years ago or people that like my bands,
Mhm.
and or you know, have like mutual interests or whatever, you know, and so that you know, it gives a free platform to share a link to a new song to YouTube, whatever, you know, like, hey, it's out there, and or pictures, we're gonna have these vinyls out, you know, you can order them there with a direct link. Of course, it's good for that, but the main thing you should do as a 20-year-old, if you're playing in a band, is get your ass in the fucking rehearsal room. Start with that.
Yeah.
Don't write all your shit at home because you're going to get the most generic fucking shit ever, and it's out there by millions. You know, most stuff that comes out, you know, bores the crap out of me, and I can hear it's a bunch of guys who sit more behind their computer than play their instrument, and they watch all the instructional videos. Another topic that I wanted to talk to you about. The most stupid one I saw was a week ago. You know, sometimes I click on stuff that I know is going to irritate the hell out of me. You know,
Just
just
for
I want to know what it is. Yeah,
yeah.
let's check this video. And it was a tutorial video for death metal vocals. And this guy was going to teach you this
Yeah.
step by step. How do you do death metal vocals? Which is, of course, even saying that, you know, a dude saying that, you know, like that, this is how you do death metal vocals
Yeah,
already.
it's already cringy as fuck.
Oh, hell yeah. Because there's no rule or
Right.
whatever for death
Right.
metal vocals.
Right.
Back in the day, all death metal singers sounded different.
Yeah.
And
100%.
because of all these crappy videos, a lot of these kiddos, they sound the fucking same. The
Yeah.
worst scene where you can hear this is in the unfortunately, I don't want to bitch about them, but the deathcore scene.
Oh
The
yeah, I
low
have seen. I know
grunts,
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
the low grunts are all the same fucking tone, the same way of pronouncing, the same. It's this bra. I don't know what the fuck they do. It's like they say bra the whole time, but it's man. When
Have you heard?
the
Have
thing,
you heard any deathcore that you do like? Because I personally have not heard any. But to their defense, I was like, I haven't heard a lot of it. It's kind of like it's almost like one of those things. I was like, almost I don't want to like find something,
well,
but I have heard
that
some of it. I'm like, I was like,
yeah,
I'm not even trying to be that elitist. I was like, I don't like this at all. I was like, this sounds terrible to me.
liking it or thinking it is good for what it is and what it's trying to do.
No, I could see that because I could appreciate even a pop rock artist or something like that. Uh, uh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm talking like actually liking it. You're like, fuck, I would actually go see these guys or pick up an album. Is there anybody?
Oh hell no.
So
No.
yeah, same.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
haven't.
Not really. No. No. If you know, there's a few bands that if I would see them live coincidentally because they would be on the same bill, then I could check them out maybe when they're really heavy or really good or whatever. Like, okay, you know, they're really good at what they're doing. Still not my cup of tea, you know. Um, because when it sounds for some reason way too modern, which is also something, you know, I say this all the time, but there's stuff that sounds really modern that I really like.
Dang,
You know, a band
like
like,
something like Vader.
but that's not deathcore. Like Dillinger Escape Plan, I think is badass, but everyone trying to sound like him, I think is
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah. No, it's
And
funny you
or
said
just
there's certain
taking,
bands like yeah, exactly. Like a band like Vader, a newer album by them. I like all their albums, but they're very crystal clear. But I was like, but their songs are good, and I was like, and it's actual real
yeah,
metal, and it's like, but
yeah,
yes, is it a
definitely.
professional like commercial recording? Yes, but it's not the same as yeah, exactly like a deathcore. It's like it's just not the same. Like I think people get it mixed
Yeah.
up.
The cool thing is when talking about Vader, um, no matter what album you put on, you listen to, well, 10 seconds is even long. Just pick out any fucking 10 seconds, you know you're listening to Vader.
Pretty much.
And that's how authentic they sound. And one album, even the newer ones, one album is more thrashy or 80s metal orientated than another one. You know, you can hear all the influences and all the stuff that Peter likes and or the whole band likes because these guys like a lot of old school stuff.
Yeah.
And on every album, it's like, okay, they've been listening a lot to this kind of stuff now, or maybe they want to get this side of the band out. there's no huge differences, I think. But it's all Vader.
Mm.
And yeah, like you say, they have clear productions, but still I can hear their own sound. They have their own guitar sound. Um, even
His
the
own
way they
vocal style
use.
too. Like who the hell sounds like Peter?
Oh
Like
yeah,
granted now stuff over the newer years, like a band like Oxygen Destroyer, you could hear the Vader influence. There's a few brand new bands that have come along, but for years and
uh-huh.
years on end, Vader had their own identity. They didn't sound like as a death
Yeah,
metal band, you're like they don't sound like anybody.
that's true. Completely, yeah. And I dig him a lot. I mean, talking about how authentic bands can be, Vader is definitely one of them. And I still think they're the greatest band ever from Poland. You know, the number one.
1,000%. I agree with that
A
100%.
lot of people talk about Behemoth right now, and I respect the band and what they're doing. It's just the music is not my cup of tea at all.
I like the
Um,
early albums
um,
for sure, like the first four records, but the last one I liked was that Thelema.6, and that was like 2001 or two. And then after that, I didn't
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I didn't like that stuff at all.
There was one album that I kind of liked. That was, I think, Satanica.
Satanica, you do that'd be up your alley. That album is that's actually my favorite album by them. That's the
Yeah,
second to last one that I like. That was like
yeah.
99 or 2000. You should that's very good actually.
Yeah, I think that's a good album, and for the rest, they never really interested me. But I don't think it's crap or something, you know. And
Yeah.
they're doing great. And uh, um, first of all, their crew members that they've been working for Massive Music a lot, so really cool people as well. And Nurgle, I've been with him and Voodoo Gods back in the day. So but still, man, if it comes to Behemoth, and of course every band can change styles and everything, but when it comes to being authentic and being die hard and just Peter has been doing this since what 84. Holy
Dude, did you
shit!
realize that guy's in his 60s?
I know, I know. I
Yeah.
see him all the time. He's a good
No,
friend,
but I
man.
mean, I didn't think that he was going to be older than guys like Jeff Becerra or Chris Reifert because he is. Like, if you don't look it up, like you would never
Yeah,
like. No, there's no way Chris Reifert or Becerra they have to be older than Peter from Vader. Like, no, he's not. He's literally older than all of them. I was like, oh
yeah,
fuck, because
yeah.
I think in Poland, from my understanding, around that time it was so poor that to be a musician, you had to be more like 2021 to afford to buy a guitar or whatever, as opposed to like over here in other countries, kids at 15 and shit have a guitar, so they start earlier. If that makes any
I
sense.
think I think in Poland they start early as well. I mean, it's of course they're doing way better now economically and financially than back in the day. But I think also a guitar player, Hero Jacek, who plays for Voodoo Gods, who was in Deicide and plays in Septic. He was actually in Vader for a really short time and in Decapitated, but he started really young. And I think when Peter started in '84, he was around that age, like 16 or something.
Okay, because I mean I just think because the first demo is 87 though, right? I think it's 87 or 88, the first Vader demo.
Man, I don't know.
It's something like that.
Maybe.
But when you think a little
Was
later, because when they did their first album, it was like Ultimate Incantations, what 90 or 91. It's just
yeah, that came out pretty
it's
late.
a handful of years before after Possessed, and so you just look at it as like a newer band, but it's like no, he was
Yeah,
doing shit, and he's even older than the
oh,
guys.
definitely, definitely, and the same goes for the band Macabre,
Yeah,
another band I highly respect. Even also when it comes to how authentic can you be. I mean, I don't even think that when they started that first of all when they started that wasn't death metal
Mhm.
because that I think they started in '84. Vader might have started in '86. I might be
I think they
mistaken
say
with that.
84. I think they because he says it live, Corporate Death, and then the Grim Reality.
No, Vader started '84 because they just did a 40 years anniversary tour. So that
Okay,
must have been, and that was last year. So that
okay,
must have been '84. But Macabre around the same time, but
yeah,
that was more like thrashy and a lot of punk influence,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But then the whole, serial killer thing, the fact that there were three guys with vocals that sound like no other band at all.
Yeah, absolutely
No,
nobody. Yeah, yeah,
no, and also the drums. No one sounded like Dennis. I can't
yeah.
say it enough. Dennis is the fucking man when it comes to double bass and beating the fuck out of these kids, man. He's a hard hitter. Yeah,
When
man.
did you?
I
Because
love
you're
Dennis.
they're from the U.S. over here. They're from Chicago area. When was the first time you got to see Macabre? You being over in the Netherlands?
I think that was when we toured with them in 2001. That's also
Okay.
when I met him.
Okay.
And I never saw him prior to that, but they did one tour I think the year before that, but I didn't go see that one. I don't know why. Probably either no money, no whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know what was going on. But yeah, but then we did a tour in 2001. Yeah, and that's when I got to see him on they played
So it's right around the
Dahmer.
same time I did. 'Cause I saw him in either 2000, 2001. It's when Dahmer was a new album when I first saw them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's when we toured with them because
Yeah.
they had Dahmer out on Hammerheart Records,
Yeah.
and what was it? Yeah, we had Feasting on Blood out. So
Okay.
for us,
Yeah.
it was a good way to have a good first, bigger tour on a nightliner to get in the good clubs, And the year after, when we had Misanthropic Carnage out, the same company as us and also Cannibal to go out with Cannibal Corpse on a European tour. So yeah, doing the tour with Macabre one year and then the year after with Cannibal Corpse, that got us in the picture good. So yeah, real thankful to these guys, and we had a blast on tour with them, man. They're such nice guys, all of them, and still good
Yeah.
friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny you bring that up is like, cause that 2001, that's when I first met you was that year.
Mhm.
And so I was like 16, and I know what I was doing. Like if somebody was to ask me, which is what I'm going to ask you, what I was doing 2001, I'd be like, oh, I was 16 years old. I was in high school. I was working at Burger King. We just started up like Hell's Headbangers. Only time taken off of work. It was basically, I was working at Burger King and Pizza Hut 7 days a week between the two jobs.
Yeah. I saw that
Um,
on one of your videos.
yeah,
That's
but
Die Hard, man.
that's how well, because dude, the way it was though, it sounds extreme, and I'm glad I did it because it paid off. You could fund the
Yeah.
company and set up my future. But the way I looked at it is us growing up, dude, we grew up on 7 acres of land. So which is, quite a bit of land, and then you had to like chop wood and shit like that. So if you were home after school, you had to do chores and we didn't get paid. So once I was old enough to
Mhm.
work at age 13, I'm like, well, I could either be here and I have to work for free, or I can leave the
Yeah.
fucking house and have an excuse and get paid. I was like, so it's a no brainer. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go get paid. I was like, quite frankly, this works better. Chopping wood and getting wood in the fucking winter, that sucks ass. So
Yeah.
it kind of sounds, it forced me to do it. So if I didn't have that, maybe I wouldn't have, but I'm glad I did. But that's the reason why I had that mentality. It's like, fuck being at home. I'm working for free. I was like, I'll just go get fucking paid. But what I was gonna say
Yeah.
is like, uh, that's what I was doing at 16, and the only time I was taking time off was to go to shows, and that's when I met you.
Mhm.
Like that was my life in 2001.
Yeah.
My question to you is: obviously, you're doing severe torture, and feasting on blood was new. What was Seth doing in 2001? Work, life, like what did your life look like in 2001?
I was just done with my with school. I got my diploma as a social worker back then. That was in 97. Yes, and I was 20 years old then. So then in 97, I joined Centurion, and I already finished school, or I was finishing school then. In the beginning, I was still at school. And then in 98, also in 97, we started Severe Torture. And before that, me and Patrick and Thijs already had a band. We when we were 15, 16, we had a band, playing cover songs and all that kind of stuff. And that went from Metallica cover songs. And then we discovered death metal and then started playing Grave, Hypocrisy, Dismember stuff, Death, Deicide, Morbid Angel, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff that we liked.
Yeah.
So then in 97, we started Severe Torture and I joined Centurion. So then all of a sudden I was, busy as fuck. So I started working right after I came out of school, but I didn't want to work as a social worker because that meant a lot of responsibility, being like mentor of certain clients and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to take off time from work. So, but while I was in school, I had this job at a warehouse. And while I was working there, I taught myself how to drive forklift trucks and reach trucks and all that kind of stuff. And I could get a full-time job there. And they said, like, hey, you can take, everyone has like 5 weeks of paid holidays a year. And if you need extra, you can take unpaid extra weeks and
Okay.
all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Time off, they'll pay. Yeah.
I was like, hey man, this is what I need. Now I can go out and do tours and
Your shows. Yeah.
not just. But yeah, the only time, but the same goes, if you have a show on a Friday night, even if it's in Holland, you know, you got to be there somewhere in the afternoon. You got to pick up your gear first. You know, you need to take a day off. So
Yeah, makes
all
sense.
my days off, the whole beginning years, and I don't know how many years it took. I think my first holiday, actual holiday that I had to do something for me and not for the band, was in 2011. And that's when I went to,
Yeah.
yeah, that's when I went to Texas for 2 weeks just to chill, visit friends, you know.
Now,
And
were
I
you
went to
married? Were you married at that time?
yeah, yeah.
What year
So
did you
we
get
both,
married?
2004.
Oh shit, you've been married that long?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, shit. So you got married only a few. No, so when you first met me in 2000, wife, did you already know your wife?
No, we
So
met
you
a
met
year
her like
later.
a year or so after that.
Yeah, a year. Yeah.
Okay,
And then we
fuck.
got married 2 years after that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I knew you guys were together at least 12 years or so with the kids, but I didn't know you were there that long.
No, we started with kids pretty late. If it comes to that, yeah, we had a small apartment and I was on tour the whole time, and I had an okay job, and not the kind of stuff that I was like, okay, this is not the steady base for kids or the best house for. So we kind of really planned that. So my first kid, Lilith, when she was born, I was 35. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
which is cool, you
Yeah,
know.
I think it's, dude,
Uh,
honestly, in my opinion, and that and offends people or would potentially, is I don't think anybody should be having kids before the age of 30. That's just my opinion. Now, everyone does. Even my parents did. The only reason I think that is because you're probably not set up in life financially and mentally. Now, there's exceptions. There's people like, hey,
yeah,
if you're doing great, you have a house and you have a great
yeah,
job and you're a mature adult, you're not getting DUIs and doing dumb shit. Then I'm not saying
yeah,
like that's a set in stone. It just seems like 30 because to me, if you're 32 and you don't have your shit together yet, then you're a real fuck up. But if you're like 21,
yeah.
22,
I
still
know,
fucking up, it's like, all right, personally, I wasn't, but I can understand. But when I hear
I know
someone's
people.
32 and they're still living at home with their parents and they got 3 DUIs and they're working at Taco Bell, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, come on, man, what are you doing?
I know a whole bunch of people over here that are even in their 50s who don't have their shit together, man.
So do I.
I
Unfortunately,
mean,
and believe it or not, some of them, and again, it sounds like I'm hating on people. Some of those type of people are, I don't know if we're friends, but we're kind of friends. Like, it's not like I dislike them. I just dislike their habits and their mindset.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. To me, it's all a little bit about balance, you know, and that's why
Yeah.
back in the day, you know, talking about work, I saw that one video you posted with 7 days a week and blah, blah, blah. I was like, holy fucking shit. I'm glad I did not do that. But, you know, I really need balance. You know, I had to do a few chores at home, you know, like do the dishes and you know, that kind of stuff, clean up my room. But you know, for the rest, yeah, I really, you know, we lived our youth. You know, we loved to drink. You know, in Holland, you were allowed to drink beer at 16. So what
That's
was I
crazy.
doing when I was? So
I mean,
what
that's
was I
cool,
doing when
but
I
it's
was
crazy. Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
I was mainly drinking beer with my buddies and
Yeah.
then getting totally hammered and then pointing at each other like, "Hey, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, you got to be in the rehearsal room," and we were all there. And then in the beginning, with that cover band I was talking about, all of a sudden, one of the guitar players, he wasn't there every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, so we knew he was not in it, you know. And me, Patrick, and Thijs were like the diehards, always there, like we're gonna, you know, we want to play music, but we also wanted to party. We also wanted to watch all the movies out there. We also
Mhm.
wanted to do this and that. We kind of wanted it all, and I'm still kind of like that, you know. And um, I think that's good. I think when back in the day I would have made the choice like I'm gonna be in music full time, I don't even know if I would be alive right now because I would probably let myself go and party so hard that I would drink
Yeah.
myself to death or
Yeah.
whatever, you know. And having a job, keeping me with both feet on the ground, you know, like, hey, man, you're just a jackass like everyone else has got to work and pays bills. And, you know, when you got some spare time and you got it, you can fix it and have everything fixed with your kids and your wife and everything is good. You can get out there and play and everything. Hey, then I'm happy, man. That's good. And for me, still the creative process, the creating of albums, is more important than the quantity of shows. I always prefer quality over quantity. If
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
do 5 shows a year that are really, really good and where there's a good atmosphere And that could be a show for 100 people. I don't even mind if it's small or big. When it was a good night and everyone had a great time of their lives, I could do 5 of those, or like 100 whatever on a tour with one shitty metalcore band or whatever. But it's good. It's gonna be good for your name.
Yeah,
Fuck that shit, man.
yeah,
Fuck
sure,
that shit.
sure.
I'm
I mean,
too old for
like
that.
the
You
way
know.
I see it, it depends on what mindset you have. If you're trying to do it as a business, then yeah. But if you're trying to do it for passion as a hobby, then just there's no reason to do it. Just do whatever the hell you enjoy makes that's for you. You know, but
Yeah.
if you're
The reason I started is because I played drums, and I was like, how cool would it be to play in a band?
yeah,
So fun.
yeah,
That's
of
the
course,
only
yeah.
fucking reason.
Well, because
And
you're
if
a music, yeah,
anyone,
you're a music fan. I think some guys that
yeah,
get into this, I don't know, and I'd be curious to kind of pick their mind a little bit without offending them. But guys like David Vincent and shit like that, like bigger names, like were they true music fans or do they just like a few bands as a kid and they saw music as almost like a way of making money because they were talented at it? Some of these guys, I get that impression. Like, because for example, like Corpse Grinder, I get the vibe he was from what he says and shit. He was a music fan. Like he was singing death metal and shit. That's why it integrated in that. But some guys, the way they talk, it's almost like I'm not saying he's in falls this camp, but the few things that like Trey Azagoth, it's almost like he was just naturally talented and
yeah,
it would just work out. And I'm not saying he's not a metal fan or nothing. I don't know. I don't know him on that level. But I've always got the vibe that there was kind of difference. There was guys that were like they were talented and they felt like this could work out as a job, whether they're right or wrong. And there was guys that just did it. I don't care what happens. I just love music and I just want to create it myself.
yeah. The thing is, when someone would have told me back in the day when we started Severe Torture, like, hey, you're gonna get a demo and then another demo and then you're gonna get a record label and then you're gonna be on a tour and another tour and you're gonna go to the States, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, I would have said, dude, are you right in the head? You know, are you? What did you smoke? You know, give me some of that. You know,
Yeah.
and I would have laughed really, really fucking hard because we thought we were fucking terrible when we started out. We saw all these bands and we heard them and we couldn't play like that. I could play drums like fucking Flo, you know. But when I went into the studio, I went in knowing how Deeds of Flesh sounded, Cryptopsy, and blah. And then we went to record our shit, and we were like, oh, we hope people don't laugh about this, you know. And then
Now,
all of a sudden, people,
did you think that after Feasting on Blood came out too, or just the demo?
you always hear your own flaws.
Oh, yeah,
That's
okay,
how
yeah,
simple it is. Other people hear your shit differently than you hear it when you created it.
100%, yeah.
And now the funny thing is, back then I heard it more than when I listened to it now. When I listen to it now, it's like, holy fucking shit, you were that fast. Holy damn, you know,
Right.
yeah, really. And even with some live shows that I was back on YouTube, or when I see him back after like many years, it's like, holy shit. I remember that show, and even remember that the show felt rough. And then I see it on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of impressive, you know, that was kind of brutal, you know, but you don't notice it when you create it because you're in it for the millisecond. So you
Yeah.
know every tenth of a second you know what's going on. So something goes wrong, you know it, and you it kind of stay. You hope nobody heard it, and yeah, it's something you learn when you get older to get over that, you know, and I mean, but coming back to your question, like with some guys, like how do they see it? I think what I notice is that some people are way more. They think bigger in some way, and they're naturally like that. Actually, Americans tend to do that. See a band as a business. They also say, "Yeah, we fired him from the band. Fired him from the band.
I don't.
Aren't you just a bunch of friends?" And blah blah blah.
You
But
know.
then I heard that bands in a lot of bands in the States have band members sign contracts and all that kind of bullshit. Of when it's a professional thing, maybe I'm just too fucking ignorant for this shit. But I was always like, man, you're in it all together, you know. And
Well,
when
dude, it's
money
funny you
comes
say
in,
that.
that's for the band, and you make like mutual decisions. And the whole term band leader, fire from the band business, that's like this douchebag band Slayer. You know, that's not a band.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's a
It's a
group of
business at that
dudes.
point. At that point, it's a
That's a
business.
business. That's a
Yeah.
group of dudes with only one
Yeah.
cool guy, and they fired him from the band, Dave Lombardo. That was the only cool metal guy in the band, and maybe Jeff Hanneman. I hear a lot of good stuff about him, but come on, the other guy's a Christian.
Yeah, I
Same
know.
thing, a Christian
Uh,
wearing around pentagrams and all that kind of stuff.
I
And
don't
the
get
other
it, dude.
guy's a rock star first class, and then people like, oh, all the songs sound the same. They only got like 2 good
Oh,
albums, the rest is shit.
so you don't like Slayer at all?
Oh no, everyone who knows me knows I don't like Slayer at all, and I
Holy shit,
hate
man! You don't like
vocals.
You're the only person I think I've ever met that doesn't like Slayer or Sabbath. I met one
Nah.
guy. Shout him out, fucking Frazier. Who
No,
knows
I
his
got
shit?
taste, man. I
Frazier's
got
the only
good
one I don't
taste.
know that. The one Frazier Dawson's the only guy I heard that ever doesn't like Ozzy, hates Ozzy, and he's an
Yeah.
older guy. But yeah, no, I didn't know you didn't like it. Oh, so dude, you're like laughing at me, man. Look at this dumb fuck when you're watching the videos. I'd say
No, no,
Slayer Show No Mercy is the greatest metal record ever written, in my opinion.
that could be, but I think you're wrong on that. But it's not wrong or right. I mean, if you think that is the best album and that gives you the biggest thrill of all the albums written,
Well,
then that is
it's a
to
little bit of both.
you
The
that
reason
is
why
the truth.
when I say statements like that, I try to do it a little unbiasedly. I go by
Yeah,
okay, I go by a few things. One, I do like it's like I like it a lot, but
yeah,
also the time it came out, 83, the over the top satanic lyrics, which you're disappointed to find Tom Araya as a fucking Christian, but the lyrics are overtly satanic, especially for 1983. The guitar solos on there, the drum sound, everything, it just really sounds like what I picture if my mom or dad and people of that caliber who don't know anything about metal music, less than my mom and dad, because they heard shit from me and my brothers listening to it, that don't know what metal music is, I picture in their mind them thinking something like Slayer Show No Mercy, that's what they picture the music to being. Like, for example, they're not going to think
mhm,
Tomb of the Mutilated because most normies, they don't even know that shit exists. Like, when they
yeah,
hear that for
that's
the
true.
first time, they're like, what the fuck? Music like this, you can't even understand what he's saying. They don't even think that exists. So when I define
Yeah,
it as the greatest metal album, it's more than just like a personal, hey, I really like this album. It's kind of the whole and honestly the whole the image of the record too, the aesthetic of the record sleeve and the band photos on the back. It just screams like
mhm,
metal from the aspect of what it seemed like normies, the satanic panic
yeah,
movements of the like early 90s and mid 80s pictured in their mind. And it just seems like it hits all those boxes. As opposed to like something like,
yeah,
the first two Motley Crues, which I'm a fan of those too, but I realize that's like gay bar metal. It's just kind of like faggy, even though I like it. I like the first two records, Too Fast for Love and
mhm.
Shout at the Devil. But I'm not like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm like, no, it's faggy. It's a guilty pleasure. But I was like, I like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, I think with all music, there's no rights and wrongs.
No, of
And
course
what
not. Yeah.
always bothered me is that there's a lot of people that think that you have to like Slayer because it has all the right ingredients. And you can give me a burger with all the right ingredients, but if you didn't prepare it the way I like it, I'm not gonna like it, and I'll probably eat it when it's there, when it's all there is. But and that's how it goes for me with Slayer. And with pretty much every band. I mean, sometimes it could be the sound, just the vocals, just something that it doesn't
Yeah.
grab you,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
vocals
I have
could make or
exactly the
break a band
same.
for me.
Yeah, I got exactly the same with Megadeth. I never liked any song of Megadeth because I can't stand these creepy ass vocals of Dave Mustaine. And yeah, they have a few good riffs, and yeah, but then there's just, and the same with Slayer. Even back in the days, like everyone was like, "Oh, Slayer this, Slayer that, Slayer this, Slayer that," and I was like, I don't think it's that special. It didn't really do anything to me. There was a lot more stuff in that category that I thought was way better, way more diverse, and for some reason I like the sound more. And the best example is Metallica. I like the first 5 Metallica albums. I think are better than anything Slayer ever done.
Yeah, I'm surprised you
Anything.
I'm surprised you like Metallica, especially with that kind of opinion.
And the thing is, I like Maiden as well. But
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
it
yeah,
is touch with a band. You either fall in love with a band or you don't.
yeah.
With women, she can have the tits you want, she can have this, you can have that, but
Her face is all
still
fucked
you
up.
can, but still you can think, nah, not my type, you
Yeah.
know, or she starts talking and you think, not my type. That's how it is with music too. It either grabs you or it doesn't.
No,
And
of course.
when it and then when it doesn't grab you, and the majority of the people start laughing at you and start saying, well, you're stupid because you have to like Slayer or you're not metal, then a personality like me is going to hate it even more.
Mhm.
Then when there's people who gonna watch a band like, let's say, Deicide or Cannibal Corpse, and they're done with a song, and then some asswipe calls Slayer, and then I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up with your goddamn Slayer, man. It's not even a band. It's a
Yeah.
fucking business, you know, and they're fucking Christians. It's they're fucking poser ass bitches, you know. That's how I think of that band, you
No,
know.
for the most
Nothing.
part, I do agree with that as far as yeah, because I like the first three a lot. Big fan. But no, when I found out Tom Araya was a Christian, I'm like, ah, dude, fucking, that's like, what are you
Yeah,
doing, dude?
yeah.
No, so I agree with all that.
And I
And
love Dave
would you say
Lombardo. Yeah.
what's that?
I love Dave Lombardo, but
What do you think
while
about it getting
watching
paid
his,
$1,000 a night?
huh?
So it's funny when you brought up
Uh,
two things with Cannibal businesses and Slayer, two subjects that actually probably, especially the Cannibal, we'll get to that. It's like shit. That's a podcast topic because it was a scene topic. I was like, oh, probably should talk about that, but I didn't. Again, some of the shit just goes over my head because I hear about it. And I was like, oh, I heard it and didn't care. But with
mhm,
Slayer, what I heard, this is just a rumor, but I've talked to there's a few people that told me, and I'm sure some of it was a game of telephone, but I asked a few other people completely outside the conversation. They're like, well, I think it went down like this. But, anyways, when Dave Lombardo was fired from Slayer, whatever it was, the last batch, 5 years ago, 6 years, whatever the hell it was, supposedly Dave Lombardo said he quit, I believe, or when he was fired, whatever, he was pissed at the band because he was only getting paid $1,000 a night. And I'm like,
mhm.
there's no way he was only getting paid 1,000 a night because, dude, I could tell you for a fact. I know for a fact Slayer's getting at least 50 grand a night a show on tour.
Yeah,
And now, granted, there's expenses. You know, there's hotels. There's the big ass vans. I get that, but it's like,
mhm.
come on, dude. I was like, I know there's no doubt Carrie and Tom they're getting at least 10. And if for whatever reason you think Dave Lombardo should get less, he should get at least five or half. $1,000 a night for that band of a caliber. To me, that's like borderline stealing. What I found hard to believe though is like, how could you be that stupid to settle for that though? And what somebody I've talked to, they're like, I have heard that too, and they heard the same number, $1,000. Like, I think it's one of those things when he said it publicly, he's amping it up. Like it's probably like, oh, it was 2,500, or but
Yeah.
he's making it sound worse than it was. What is your take on that? If Slayer, let's just assume it's true. Do you think that's bullshit? Or you're like, yeah, that's what he signed up for. Fuck him. Who cares? And keep in mind, because you don't
No.
like Slayer, he's an original member. Like he's on that crappy Show No Mercy. He's on those like
Yeah.
he's on the records people love, and then some. So it's not like he's just some fucking hoagie. Like
Oh no.
they just hired some T-boner off the street. Like, yeah, you get $1,000 a night. If that was the case, I'm like, oh, I could see that, totally see that. But an original guy on your most popular albums, and you're only going to
Yeah.
kick him 1,000 a night. What? So that's my take. Obviously, I kind of spilled. What's your take?
Well, I think Dave Lombardo to me is together with Jeff Hanneman the strong points in Slayer. Jeff Hanneman wrote the best riffs by far, really by far. And Dave Lombardo, and also of course Slayer has been a huge. I hear that is a huge inspiration to a lot of bands. I mean, my favorite death metal band is Deicide, and that's pretty much fast Slayer. So
Yeah, sure, yeah.
yeah, in a lot of senses, and so I just don't like Slayer. That's just it's a taste thing. But coming back to your question, like, I don't know any of the numbers, and I heard some stuff and I read some stuff, but I can't say anything about that. But I think it's safe to say that he got underpaid,
Yeah.
and yeah, well, I don't know how honest they have been with him as far as the numbers coming in and where all the money is going to. Like if he found that out later or whatever, or maybe the number that he got was good enough for him. And I mean, there could be tons of reasons. There could be even reasons where he says like, "Hey, don't put too much money on a contract because I'll earn too much with my business tax wise. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know how these people
yeah,
work.
yeah,
There's a million reasons how everything could have went, but making it a whole freak show online, and mud throwing and all that kind of drama queen behavior, yeah, to me it's just fucking laughable, And for me, it was really nice when I saw Mr. Bungle with Dave Lombardo behind the drum kit, kicking ass with Mr. Bungle, doing a lot of double bass, and then Mike Patton on stage, the Anthrax guy, Scott Ian, and the two original Mr. Bungle members. I mean, and you could see every band member on there was having fun. They were having a good time, and that looked more like a band to me, even when it was, they haven't been in this lineup for a long time, from what I know, but that looked more of a band to me and more having fun and more like friendship among each. And
yeah.
for me, that's also something I like to watch. When I see Maiden play, I see a group of friends.
Okay,
And
you think those guys still like each other?
huh?
You think those guys still
I
like
I
legitimately
I
like each
I
other?
think so. I think so. At least that's they have a great time on stage, and from what I see, they also hang out together. I mean, and then Steve Harris plays in British Lion with the new drummer. So there's to me it looks I can relate to that way more, especially how my own bands were formed. Severe Torture was actually formed out of a group of friends. Centurion I joined because of mutual interest. They were looking for a singer, and when I met Wim, and then he told me about Rob and his favorite bands, I was like, oh man, this feels like these guys could be my friends.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that feeling, the same goes for Illuminati, my current band, and Grey Aura.
Mhm.
When I met them, when I couldn't be friends with them, I would never join them. Never. To me, it can be a job. I mean, no, no.
When you were doing Voodoo Gods, how was that with Corpse Grinder? Was he ever in the studio at the same time as you, or he recorded in a different place and just sent you it, or how did that work?
Um, yeah, we were together in Andy LaRock's studio in Sweden. That was when George was recording his vocals there, and then the whole band came over there to do a video shoot. And I already recorded all my vocals in Germany, but then Andy wanted to record some additional stuff over there, so I got to record with Andy as well, which was fun, of course. Um,
Do you
um,
have George's email or phone number?
I got his email. Yeah.
Oh, okay. In that case, maybe I'll type you up an email if you don't mind copy and pasting it. Did you watch my live video I did on Sunday? It was long.
No, not last Sunday. No, I've been working all
Oh,
weekend.
okay. So, but you could, I mean, but
Yeah.
you could go, it's like posted, like you could go watch it like now if you
Oh
wanted to,
yeah,
right?
I watch back all the time. Yeah,
Okay.
because
So, but
I'm.
it's like 2 hours long. Anyways, so it just came up organically. Speaking of Cannibal, and we'll get into the topic I was going to bring up on them, which now makes sense too, as far as the reason I was given. I initially, which I've told on the channel, I text Rob Barrett to do an interview
Mhm.
with him one on one. So that way talk about cannibal stuff, solstice, malevolent creation, and then also if you can ask Alex and Paul if I could do one with the two original guys, so two separate videos, right? One with Alex and
Mhm.
Paul, one with Rob Barrett. I got the number from Steve from Deicide, Steve Ashim. He texted me it. Naturally, he didn't reply. Now you find out, which will be the topic I'd go into, but in a second, that he got kicked out of the band. And, okay, cool. So I guess that's why he didn't reply. He's like, you still could have texted me back, bro, and said I'm out of the band or no thanks. Um,
Mhm.
but I contacted management. I got Cannibal's managements and asked management if I can, because it's coming up. It's a week from, I think it's next Tuesday or Thursday, Cleveland. I already got my tickets, right? Cannibal's playing. And
Mhm.
I contacted management. Hey, I would like to interview Alex Webster and Paul Mazurkowitz together. And their response was, they won't be doing any interviews this round. They're too busy. I'm like, I said as on my live, I'm like, too busy. Like, what do you mean? You got sound check and you go on stage. I'm like, none of you guys sell merch. None of you guys load crap. None of you guys unload crap. Like, you're literally, there's no question you're sitting around playing with your dicks for 8 hours easily because I was like, and I'm not saying like, hey, let's do it afterwards. I'll go there at sound check, like before the show. I'll drive up there. I don't give a fuck. You tell me. I'll take you out to lunch whenever. So you're not too goddamn busy. That's horseshit. But as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, well, they're probably reason that, especially this tour, they probably like we don't want to talk about Rob Barrett. Well, just tell me that, and I won't. And number one, I wouldn't bring it up anyways. So maybe I'll type up an email, and if you don't mind, send to George, like, hey, so it's, and he actually texted me. I did one with George, so he, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know if
can
you
let
know,
him know. No problem.
and
And
just
otherwise,
ask them.
yeah. And otherwise, Alex from Voodoo Gods calls George all the time on the phone, so I can also always pass it through. No problem.
Yeah. But that way,
So
so that's what I'll do. I'll type the message up for you and I'll send it. Just copy and paste this to George if you can. If he says something, cool. If you don't, you don't. Because I would love to have the two original Cannibal guys. My goal is actually I want to get as many Cannibal members ever. Like even like Bob Russe,
yeah,
whatever the fuck he's doing. Barnes, who again he was too busy, but having as
hmm
many Cannibal members, like past and present, I think that'd be cool as fuck personally. You know, as being
yeah,
like he was like my always like my favorite band growing up as a kid. But having
yeah.
said that, what do you know, and what was your takes? Actually, I don't really know anything. I read in the comments people were telling me that Rob Barrett was kicked out of the band. I think it had something to do with a chick. I don't even know what the reason was, but nonetheless, he's not in the band. He's not doing this tour. Do you know? Did you hear any of the drama of why he was out of the band, and what is your take? The reason you got me
No,
thinking
no.
about it because you brought the whole fire thing, and some people that's what the terms
Yeah,
people were using. Rob Barrett was fired from Cannibal Corpse.
yeah, yeah. Well, they probably have contracts in the band, with all the money going through, and I get that, in the end that if your band becomes really big, you have to have it organized how you do it,
100%.
and
Yeah.
yeah, but not, on the level that we did it, it's about a couple of thousand here, a couple of thousand there, that's not too much. So when a band quit, stopped like now, I'm still in touch with Wim. So whenever money comes in that we make with Centurion that doesn't exist anymore, we just split it in, amongst the old band members, according to who did what,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, or who did what, actually equal parts, not like writing stuff because then everything should go to Rob basically. But yeah, but still, when it comes to real like how it's done, because even but I'm going off subject now. Even the writing royalties, um, usually is the one writing the song is the one writing the riff, and then there's a lot of royalty going to the dude who wrote the lyrics. But if you compose the whole song with everyone together in the band, like created it in the rehearsal room, but it's still the main songwriter will be the one who wrote the riff. I always thought that was kind of weird. So sometimes they do like a slash and then the other name, but it has an immediate effect in how much you're going to get paid. So I can see that as a point of discussion in a lot of bands, like
Yeah.
how much was your how do you say that? How much money did you put in the bag?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but to come back to your question about if I heard anything from Cannibal Corpse, no. Actually, what I saw was that Rob Barrett was going to be replaced on the next tour by the dude from what was it?
Some shitty band. I remember that. The band I don't
Yeah,
like.
this mother band that Trevor. They had a singer Trevor, and he died. Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh, I
Is
think
that
that's
it?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Now I don't know anything
So they
about
got a
them.
guitar player from them.
I always pictured Black Dahlia Murder as fucking just deathcore, fucking trendy garbage. From what I was told, though, people are like, no, it's kind of like
Mm.
At the Gates. You might like them. Which, speaking of At the Gates, I guess rest in peace, Thomas Lindbergh. Right? You heard about that, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you liked anything
Yeah.
by At the Gates or Grotesque and all that.
Oh, I mean, if you're talking about an influential band with one album that hit the spot so good that a whole fucking scene came out of it, Slaughter of the Soul. I mean, hey man,
It's
you
you
can't
know
top that. It's a sick
you know,
album, man.
dude,
That's
the albums. I know that people think I hate At the Gates because I busted their balls too. I was like, no,
oh,
that's not what I'm
I
saying.
like At the
I was like,
Gates.
I love Slaughter the Soul, but the thing is that's the only album I own and liked because I thought the earlier ones were kind
Yeah,
of boring because I loved the
same.
grotesque.
Yeah,
I loved the grotesque shit. The In the Embrace of Evil. I heard
yeah,
that first, grotesque. I had that
yeah,
digipack CD where it's a 2-on-1, the EP and like whatever, but it's a full length disc. It's a In the Embrace
yeah,
of Evil. and that was Thomas singing on. It was pre At the Gates. I was like, and I
Yeah.
love that shit. I had that shit. I probably had that like since I was like 15, right? And then when I
Mhm.
finally heard like the early At the Gate sounds, I'm like, man, these are like boring compared to Grotesque.
Yeah.
But then I heard Slaughter the Soul, and I really liked that album. Like I like it a lot. Actually, I
Mhm.
re-listened to it like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, this sounds fucking great. It's killer as fuck.
Yeah.
But when I bust their balls, I'm like, I remember when, at least in my area and the people I knew, all the guys that loved At the Gates, they made fun of that record. That's the sellout record. That they only
Oh
liked
no,
the
it's not.
early albums. I'm like, oh, I was like, those early ones are boring.
Yeah, but it's different music, I think. The first time I heard about At the Gates was actually when Slaughter of the Soul came out. Because before that, it was a band that I don't know, I didn't see it. So then you go back, you listen to
Yeah, yeah.
Slaughter of the Soul, and then you go back, and it's like, oh yeah, I got the same. It's like kind of boring, and I have them. They're not bad albums, especially the Red and Sky is Ours. I think
It's
it's
fun.
pretty good,
I've been
and
meaning to go. I should go back and listen to them, but I listened to them like twice or so, and I was like, these are
yeah.
boring.
Yeah, but I gotta say they are pretty good, but you gotta listen to them a few times more
Okay.
often. And
Yeah.
then they had that EP Terminal Spirit Disease, I think it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah. That's one.
That
Yep.
kind of had the sound. That kind of had a few songs on there. I remember that already prepared for that Slaughter of the Soul album. But from what I heard is that Slaughter of the Soul was really an album where they had that attitude, like, okay, fuck it, now we're just gonna route an album, just you know as fast as possible, record and done. Because they were kind of done with the fact that it was taking a long time for them to get the name out really big, like the other Swedish bands. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. So it sounds like a really fast, spontaneous written album that is really to the point. But man, if you see all the bands, it's like a blueprint for maybe maybe 100 bands. That album created something completely new. And to do
1,000%.
that
Because I mean,
is
here
and
At the Gates had a huge impact in my life too, from an outsider looking up, growing in, because we have the if you watch the channel too, you can have the Parma guys, which is a suburb of
Mhm.
Cleveland, and Dawn of the Dead from Nunslaughter. He's like, yeah, dude, all those Parma fags. He's like, they love all that At the Gates stuff, which they do. And a lot of the
Yeah,
bands like that I talk about, From the Depths, who were re-releasing and they're playing My Dead by Dog, which I'm a huge fan. I don't think From the Depths sounds like At the Gates at all, but you could definitely, there's an influence for sure. There's a band
yeah,
of Soulless, which their second album, Agony's Lament, I think is fantastic. Hard At the Gates influence. What I'm getting at is these are local bands that
yeah,
I would see often, very, very often. They play all the time, and I knew all those guys, friends or
yeah,
at least acquaintances, and they all loved At the Gates. So At the Gates was everything
yeah.
about everywhere in my teens, like seeing
Mhm.
it around my peers of people I was hanging around with. They loved them, and again, but I was like, the only album I really liked was Slaughter the Soul, and I remember guys like Jim Sadis, rest in peace, like, oh, that album sucks. It's like, that's the sellout
Yeah,
record. I was like, I don't know, this record's pretty fun. I was like, the other ones I don't really like, dude. I'm kind of bored. But also too,
yeah,
did you ever listen to, because I'm a big fan of all their stuff, but specifically this album Down, did you ever listen to the Crown, the album Crowned in Terror?
yeah,
Thomas sings on that.
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of that record, and I saw him on that tour, and that's where the only time I met Thomas was him singing for the
yeah,
crowd. They played at the, remember the Flying Machine where the Death Fest was, Ohio Death
yeah,
Fest?
yeah, yeah,
That's where
yeah,
they played. That's where they played.
yeah, yeah. I kind of liked the Crown. I didn't think it was bad, but I thought At the Gates was way better. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of a disappointment to me. And then At the Gates got back together, and then I
Yeah.
heard the first time I heard that comeback album, I was like, meh. But then I gotta say, even these new albums, I think they're quite enjoyable. I bought them, and I gave them a chance. Like played them a bunch of times, and they kind of changed. It's more diverse than Slaughter of the Soul. Very well produced, especially the last one that was also actually produced by Andy LaRock.
Okay.
Um, but some sick ass stuff on there, and good old school riffs combined with newer elements, I guess. But I think that's good. And what I heard is that a week before Thomas was hospitalized, he recorded vocals for the new At the Gates album in one day.
Oh. Oh no shit. So
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 I
so
bet
it'll come out. Yeah.
there's gonna be a new At the Gates album. Like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
unfortunately, after his passing, yeah, fuck cancer. I mean, it sucks.
I wonder if he did he know he had cancer for like 6 months on end, a year on it, or he just found out when he was
I
hospitalized?
don't know the whole story, but from what I knew, all of a sudden I saw he was hospitalized. So I guess he knew, but I didn't follow the story closely for some reason, or didn't see anything about it. I don't know if they posted a lot about it or kept it private. I have no clue. But yeah, he was 52 years old. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not very old.
that's only 5 years older than me, man. And it's
Yeah.
it's it's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening more and more and more the older you get. And yeah, I mean, you used to go to more funerals, no, to more weddings than funerals, but that kind of changes around,
1,000%.
And
I mean, if you live to be old enough, eventually you'll watch your entire circle die. With
yeah,
the exception of
and
your
I
kids,
probably will
with the
because
exception of your kids, theoretically, if you have kids.
yeah, and I probably will because I expect to be somewhere around 146 years old when I die. No, no, I just
Well, because
really,
but yeah, because you put it in perspective, dude. Like theoretically, you're going to watch both of your parents die. You're going to watch your aunts,
yeah,
uncles, grandparents. So the older you get,
yeah,
you're eventually going to watch almost, with the exception of yeah, like your kids or nieces
yeah,
or nephews if they're that much younger than you, assuming they don't die in a car wreck or something. I think it
yeah,
didn't Lemmy. I think Lemmy said that or something. Like, yeah, like it sucks getting old. I watched everybody die. I was like, yeah, it makes
yeah.
sense.
That's how it goes. But that's life,
Yeah.
And the only thing you can hope for is that I hope for is that I go before my kids. That must
Yeah.
be
I
the
mean, I think
hardest.
that's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that must be the hardest thing for every parent, to go before one of your kids. And I've seen it happen a few times in my life, and even with the bass player of To the Minati who recently passed, and you see
He
his
had kids.
mother, you're like, yeah, he had a foster kid, or he had a girlfriend, and she had a
Yeah.
kid, but he still had his mother and
Yeah.
and
Oh
his
yeah.
dad, and they were there. And then you see these people, and it's like that hurts, man. That really hurts,
Yeah.
especially when you're a dad yourself. You know more what it means. But yeah, no kids should die before their parents. None.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what did he die of? You said a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. Yeah,
Yeah.
so probably some stuff in his body that was already not good, but they
Yeah.
didn't want to do a section. There were like three options, and yeah, uh, you don't want to cut someone completely open and do a full autopsy to know which one of the three it was, because it's
Yeah.
not going to help anyone. And
Yeah. Does it really matter? Yeah.
yeah, so his family didn't want that, like keep him intact, and we can live with this. It was a yeah, some kind of failure
Mm.
that caused a heart attack. Yeah.
Now he was like would you consider him a good friend, or he was just kind of like a band member that you're cool with, but like
Yeah, he was a good friend, but we didn't live really close to each other. So we saw each other at the rehearsal room and when we were doing shows. And but he used to drive me a lot. I don't have a driver's license,
yeah.
so after gigs, he used to bring me back home and blah blah blah. And also we did a small tour, uh, uh, only 5 shows with Nervo Chaos from Brazil, and we did that with cars. So I was always driving with him. And so yeah, you get to know someone, and you play music together, you create an album together, so that yeah, it starts a friendship. And yeah, so it hurts, but it's yeah, no person is the same, and
Mm.
and 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 no one has the same position in your life. Everyone has its own special position, so
Yeah.
every every way it hurts in a different way. And that was the same when Ralph Santola passed, it hurt. And when Fabiano Penna passed from Rebellion, it hurt. And there's a whole lot more. I can go on and on and on and on with people I
You knew both
know.
them. You knew both Ralph and Rebellion guy. You knew both them personally.
Oh yeah, yeah. With Ralph, I was on stage, of course, when I did the Deicide gigs.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that's when how I got to meet Ralph. And then after that, it was like almost daily. We were chatting on back then. Was it MySpace? No, it was already Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
And Fabiano has been to my house already back in 2001,
Oh, okay. Shit.
when we did a bunch of shows with Rebellion, and we always kept in touch. And then They played a show in Amsterdam, and they called me up, and I went there early. We went into town, went to get food. I even did a song with them on stage, doing vocals with Rebellion, the
Mhm.
song Legion, of course.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then it's not only Fabiano, but then after that, a year later, I think, or 2 years later, it was Lohi who passed
Mhm.
away, the singer. So that band got hurt twice. You know, I mean, ouch.
You
So
realize
yeah,
that the average, let's say 25-year-olds, maybe even 30-year-old and down, that's in the death metal scene. If you mention Rebellion, they don't even know who that is. Like if I bring up albums like Burn the Promised Land and shit, which are absolutely fucking amazing, they don't even know what that
yeah,
is. To me that's just
they don't know what
crazy.
that is. They don't know Rebellion. They don't know the other band that Fabiano had, The Order. That is a great band, a great band. They're probably not gonna know Abhorrence.
Or if they
They're
don't, 'cause I
not
brought
gonna.
them up too. They literally don't know what this
Yeah,
shit is. I'm like, that's like
they're
mind
not
blowing to
gonna.
me.
Yeah, they're not gonna know Ophiolatry,
Yeah,
the shirt that I wore the other video. I mean, there's so many great Brazilian bands, man,
there's tons. Yeah,
yeah, and of course a lot of them have a sound that is going towards Christian, but of course Christian
yeah,
they set a mark there, man. They were national heroes to these guys,
yeah,
and they bring a certain fire, and it's they all have this blasphemous themes, you know, and
yeah.
cool artwork. Also, the other band, Nefast, you know them?
Nayfost. No, I know Abomination, Funeratus, Quarian, Mental Horror,
Yeah,
Nayfost.
Mental Horror is a good one.
How do you spell it? Maybe
I think
is
it's
it
Nenephast. Let me look it up real quick.
I think that might be the band several months ago, Neil sent me. He's like, he's like, we were talking about Brazilian bands, like, do you know this one? And I
Oh,
was
it has an
listening on
extra
YouTube.
H in the end. Yeah, it's Nephasth.
I
And
want to say it
their
was,
singer,
I want to say it was
yeah,
them that he sent me, and I was listening on YouTube. I knew the name because I know for a fact Hell's had it in stock, but I didn't know it was a
yeah,
Brazilian Christian worship band as well. So they weren't one I
they're
grew up on.
different. Yeah, they're a bit different than Christian, but their singer is the one who's doing the vocals in the other band from Fabiano, The Order.
Oh, okay,
Have you
okay.
heard The Order?
No, those I don't know.
Oh man, you're missing out on two good albums, man.
How do you spell that?
Web, yeah, The Order. Let me look them up real quick because we got time. Holy
Yes, I'll put
shit!
it. I'll put it in Metal Archives.
I'm climbing over my chair here. Hold on. Oh. I need to show these. Yep, got them here. Oh yeah.
The order. Okay, I found it on Metal.
This is the first one,
No, I've never even heard of these guys. No, I never even heard. No, that I definitely don't know. The Nayfost, I've
and
definitely seen it. Like we've
and
had it.
this is the second one. That's I think even better than the first one. Okay, you see it? Oh yeah, like this a bit.
No.
This one was actually on Unique Leader, and it's I gotta
Oh,
say
okay.
it's one of the best albums ever released on Unique Leader. And you would, if you listen to it, you're like, this was on Unique Leader.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, it was.
yeah. Yes,
You will like it,
I
man.
brought them up on Metal Archives here. Yeah, it's
It's
just two
sick
guys.
as fuck.
It's just Fabio and then Wildy on drums. Who does
It
guitars?
has, yeah, it has Fabiano on guitars, then Fabio from Nefast on vocals, and they had a different drummer on the second album. That was a really young kid. I don't know his name, and I don't
Yeah, I've
know
never.
from the.
This is a band I've legitimately I never even heard of them. Like other ones,
Oh
like
man, you
people bring
gotta
up, I'm
check
like,
it.
oh, I've seen the name, but this I never even. I don't think Hell's has ever had this in stock. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like I don't recognize the logo.
I've
Yeah,
even seen
I'll
them
check
play
it out.
live, man. They played a show in Tilburg as the Order on. I think it was an Erotic Death Fest, if I'm not mistaken. Sick as fuck, man. Sick as fuck. Just like the fucking records. Just like hearing the records out loud. That's how fucking tight they were playing, man. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pity that Fabiano died. I mean, he was a musician that I highly respected.
Okay.
Just like the Christian guys, he was just like Moises in Christian on guitar. He was like that in Rebellion and in The Order, and he
Mm.
wrote some badass stuff. Yeah,
You never
yeah,
played
and
with Christian in Brazil, have you?
no, not in Brazil. No, we have played with them in Europe a
Yeah.
whole bunch of times, but in Brazil, no. In Brazil, with Severe Torture, we played with Sadus and Thrones,
Okay.
and with Centurion, we played with Misery Index,
Okay.
and I think it was Into Darkness from Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I'd be curious how like I mean, granted, it would have been different 20 years ago, but like what it's like, Christian in Brazil. I just because they're kind of like it's their home, it's their home country. Like what it's like for, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I've seen some videos here and there. That's like, I think for me it would be really cool to go there someday because I know Brazil. I know where the fans are, and yeah, I want to attend a Christian gig in Brazil. That would be fucking awesome.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, yeah. I think if we ever actually, I gotta say, Rob is playing a lot of guitar lately, so he's getting
Oh,
back
so
in
he actually
shape.
is. He actually
We-
because
We're working on it.
prior
We're working on it. Yeah.
prior to me bringing it up, he wasn't playing guitar at all, right?
No, but now he is,
Oh, so he
and
actually
he's liking it.
because
So
he, he
it's
he
going.
he said that in my videos too. Like, yeah, I must start, and you brought that up. But when I hear that, I'm just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or he'll do it in 10 years. Like he's actually
No,
doing
no,
it.
no. Things are going well. Things
Oh,
are
that's
going
good.
well. So yeah, we're making next plans and shit.
Yeah,
So it's going good. But yeah, step by step.
yeah, yeah. No, of
But
course.
what was I talking about?
Yeah, we were
I
talking about the
forgot.
Brazilian style, and so
Oh
I
yeah,
will. I'll
yeah,
keep this link open. I'll check this out. Um,
yeah.
but what we should do is, like I said, we only need one or two topics to talk about. Then we go into other different shit. Remember us? But you had another topic. You said you tried to talk about something about was it with Gene or I don't know. It was your
Yeah,
idea.
I got an email. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was talking about a band. He was actually replying to me like, "Hey, man, I saw the video and I agree 100% on the whole meet and greet thing and a lot of the other stuff that we were talking about. Also the ridiculous merch prices and also that the he wants to do it for the music and the passion and have fun in things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he also doesn't overdo it. Like you won't see him play 300 shows a year, but that also gives him the artistic freedom to do what he wants. And I think that's important in death metal. So I really like that. But he was like, yeah, man. And imagine there's a lot of these bands nowadays that make a comeback with maybe one or two original band members and a bunch of, college students, uh, who
Yeah,
get to tour the festivals on their student breaks. And
dude. I mean, there's so many of these older bands, like even bands in the '80s, are like, and they're added to
yeah,
these fests and shit. I'm like,
yeah,
this is. I was like, but it's not the band, dude. It's like one guy, the bass player or something, and they get a bunch of fucking. It's funny they'll get
yeah,
literally members, and I was like, they weren't even alive when the record came out. Like I mean,
true.
that's an extreme scenario, but I'm like, you can't. It's just annoying. Like they got the logo on there, like you're not seeing that band.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the logo is one thing. Um, Maybe it should say like uh, a certain dude's name plays and then the band logo, whatever.
Probably at that point, yeah,
There's a market for these bands, apparently, because people come out and pay a shitload of money to see them. That's
yeah,
how I see it. So there's a market for it. And what I can also get is that when you want to get your old band back together, there's always going to be maybe one or two band members who quit, who don't want to do it, who are in different countries, maybe even, or different phases in their lives, or dead, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, 100%, yeah,
Or dead or in jail. No
yeah.
other. Yeah,
That's true. That
it
line's
could
true
happen.
though, isn't it? And a lot of times,
Yeah, that they got a good excuse when it's one of these two. But
yeah.
and then still, when people want to, of course, people want to go see some guy. I mean, there were even people that went to see Blaze Bailey do Iron Maiden songs from the time he was an Iron Maiden, and he made a whole career out of
I
that.
think I
You
remember.
know,
Yeah,
and
I
and
know you're talking about. Yeah,
And then with a few hired guns, you know, there might even be some kiddos who weren't born, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but dude, that kind of makes sense because
Yeah.
like you could correct me because you see Maiden many times in recent times.
Yeah.
They're probably not playing any Blaze Bailey songs, and there are some people that are diehard fans of
Oh, they
those
do.
albums.
Oh
So,
no, they do.
so they play shit off the X Factor and shit like that.
Not a lot, but there's a few songs that they done off the Blaze Bailey stuff live.
Okay,
So
because I was gonna say like, because if you let's say
like
you
the
want to
Wicker
see
Man.
those
No,
songs, I
not
was
the
like, it
Wicker
makes
Man.
sense and see hearing them singing. I was like,
Yeah,
that at least makes some sense because maybe you couldn't see it otherwise. But I don't know. You're saying
yeah,
Maiden plays it, so
yeah. I forgot that one. So I said the Wicker Man. It's not the Wicker Man. No, no. The
it's
song
Virtual
about
11.
Braveheart.
Is it
No,
Virtual
no,
11?
no. The one about Braveheart, the Scottish warrior song. Which one is that? I
Oh,
forgot it.
that I don't know.
They have it on a live album as well, so that's pretty cool to have a Bruce version. Do you know I don't even own the Blaze Bailey's albums?
No.
I don't even have them.
Shit,
No.
dude, I have an LP version of the X Factor, and I
Yeah.
have a picture disc version of Virtual 11.
Yeah. Well, the songs aren't bad. I know it's all
It's got
true.
songs. It's got some
Yeah.
songs that I think are pretty damn good, and then it's got some
Yeah.
songs I'm like, it's kind
Yeah.
of a filler.
Same
But
here.
yeah, yeah.
Same here. I just want the same albums to be re-recorded with Bruce, and I will buy them right away.
Oh,
That's
you didn't like Blaze's voice at all?
no, that's it. I didn't. I like
Oh, see, I didn't
Pollyanna
mind
and I
it. No,
like Bruce.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I don't buy it.
Well, no, but I mean,
Yeah.
like for example, there's some guys like there's some bands, and I'm trying to think of who's a good example. I'm talking about even as a kid, death metal bands, mostly heavy metal bands. Whereas like this is great, but I was like, I can't do the
Yeah.
vocals. I can't do it. The vocals are
Yeah. But
totally ruin it.
also, when these albums came out, I was way more harsh on bands than right now. So I think when I would buy these albums now, which I probably will at some point, you know, and then revisit them, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like, oh, it's actually pretty good. You know, there's actually
yeah,
nothing wrong with the guy. But
yeah.
back in the day, when you didn't 100% sound like we, that's how fucking stupid we were, you know, even and Die Hard and gatekeeping and all that. If it wasn't completely satisfying our expectations, we would beat the shit out of it, you know. Like
Uh,
when Abducted from Hypocrisy came out, it was like, what, what are you doing, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
One okay song, Roswell 47, and the rest sounds like pure fucking shit. And
That's the
now you
one.
listen
Is that
back
the one
to
with the
it.
alien? Is that the one with the alien on the cover?
Yeah, that's when it went completely alien, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know, the one before that was the Fourth Dimension. It was more atmospheric, but it was still death metal. It was still good. And then to us, it was like, man, these guys turned gay. Now
yeah.
you listen back to the album, you're a little bit more mature, and then you listen back to the album, you're like, it's not that bad, you know.
Yeah, it's like an
Still
album
not
like
my favorite
it's not
Hypocrisy album.
hypocrisy, but the final chapter definitely has some songs. I'm like, man, it's got some pretty good songs, but I'm like, do I think it's hypocrisy, penetralium, osculum obscenum? I'm like, it's not even the same band.
No, that's the thing with Hypocrisy. It's not the same band. But the final chapter, I think, to be honest, I might have heard like the first couple of minutes.
Uh
That's it.
it's got a few cool songs, and then it's got Evil Invaders cover song by Razor. I'm like, guess the cover song's pretty cool. And
I I I really fell off when Abducted came out. It was like no more Hypocrisy for me. And then End of Disclosure came out, one of the really newer albums.
oh, I never,
It's
dude.
not.
After the last chapter, that was the last chapter for me. I
Uh,
never listened to anything after that.
well, End of Disclosure came out, and it kind of had the same quality of the first two songs on Abducted, but then the whole album. And I
Okay.
was like, okay, this is not bad, you know. It's cool. So I bought that one, but that's it, you know. To me, Hypocrisy is the first two, man.
Yeah,
Penetralia,
1,000%.
especially Osculum Obscenum. That's
Yeah,
just a
it's fucking
killer.
amazing, dude. It's one of the best death metal records to ever come out of Sweden ever.
Agreed. Agreed. The best one is You Will Never See from Grave, and not Left Hand Path.
Oh, so you don't like Left Hand Path either?
Oh, I do. I
Oh,
love
but it's not
Left
the best.
Hand
Yeah,
Path, but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think it's the best Swedish album.
Oh, okay.
You'll never
actually, kind
see.
of
I
going back
think.
to what we were saying, kind of like when you
Yeah.
were saying, which I know you agree with this, but I mean, and I've always known this. I knew it before doing the channel, but I really see it now in the comments and when I see other people doing videos that people send me. Going back to your Slayer take, it goes, but it's not just them; it's bands in general. People, some of their opinions, they're literally, and I've said this on the channel. I was like, you're only saying that because you feel you have to say that. Don't
Yeah.
I mean? But I mean, I think that goes on like fucking crazy. Honestly, I think that goes on more than it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's the same when I say that the album that Morbid Angel put out after Elude, the one with Steve Tucker, I think is way more boring than Elude.
I
Elude
never
has a
heard, see,
few
I never heard
weird
it, so I
ass
don't know.
songs. Elude
Yeah, I
has a
never heard
few
it.
weird ass songs, but if you take the 5 death metal songs of that, it beats the quality out of that newest one with a landslide.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard that because
Only
that's the one. Steve
even
Tucker's back on that on it, right?
yeah, and to me it's boring as fuck. I can't even
Yeah.
hear the riffs.
Okay, see, I didn't listen to it, so I don't know.
I
I don't
think
have an opinion.
yeah, I want to like it, but it's just man. I think the best record with Steve Tucker still is Formulas by
Oh yeah, yeah, no,
far.
1000%. No, I agree. Anyone that says otherwise is kind of like, did you even hear it? Did you even listen to it? Like,
Yeah,
that's like totally the best one.
yeah. But and I wanted to like that Kingdom's Disdain, but I was like, it didn't do a thing to me. There was like I liked really liked maybe one or two songs, and on Illud I liked 5 songs,
Okay,
not the whole album, but about 5, and
because I
then
never heard the whole
every
album.
no, but
When I
everyone is bitching about it. But
yeah,
everyone was bitching about it. But I didn't do that. When it came out, I bought it. I got the disc here, the CD. So I
yeah,
didn't check anything. I heard only the only song I heard was Nevermore. That was the only song I heard, and that was a song that to me could be on a record like Domination.
okay,
If that song Nevermore or Exist of Vulgar, if that would be either these two songs on Domination, it would fit right in there.
okay,
And then I have the record here, and of course it goes from here to there. I'm like, holy shit, what are they experimenting now? But Morbid Angel has always been experimenting with weird shit that you have to
yeah,
get used to. And then
yeah,
in the end, when I got used to it, there was still some stuff I didn't like the whole what is it? People joke about it, the killer cop, whatever.
kill
Yeah,
cop, yeah,
yeah, that's fucking that's ridiculous. That was, but some experiments fail, and some people say, yeah, that whole album failed. Well, in my opinion, not. And it doesn't matter what people think of it. If for some people it sounds like complete horseshit, that's fine by me. Then don't listen to it. But only for saying like, hey, I listen to it, and you all say it's shit, but I like it. People thought I was some kind of alien, man. But yeah, apparently I am, because I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. And sometimes I start liking something years later.
mhm,
Sometimes I don't.
yeah,
It happens. And
yeah, yeah,
sometimes I like stuff, and then 10 years later I don't like it anymore. I'm like,
mhm.
I listened to that. Whoa. I
Yeah.
thought
You
that
sometimes
was
you go
good.
back to shit that doesn't hold up. You're like, yeah, this doesn't really hold up.
Some stuff doesn't hold up. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's how it works. But there's no bad or good or wrong or right, or that's a matter of taste. And like you say, what I don't like is people saying they like something because it's cool to say you like something.
yeah,
To me, that's really bullshit.
yeah.
Why would you do that? Who do you want to? Is that a certain group you want to be a part of, or how insecure are you?
Mhm.
And because yeah, sometimes, and the same goes for hating on certain stuff. Some
Thousand
people
percent.
hate on something because they think it's cool to hate on something.
Yep. I can tell you right now, there's definitely a group of people that think it's cool to hate on melodic death metal, and I could just tell by the way they even asked me, like, "Do you like melodic death metal?" Like they're expecting me to trash, and I'm like, I mean, I don't like a ton of it, but yeah, I like some of it, yeah. And I think they're
Yeah,
kind of surprised by that. I'm like, yeah, some of it I like. It's good. Um,
yeah,
but I know there's that group that shit's terrible. Like, so it's all garbage. I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like,
yeah. Well, there's in most genres, there's always one band that I dig.
yeah, yeah,
And in the death metal scene, it happens to be a lot of bands that I dig. And
yeah,
in the black metal scene, it's some bands. It's actually only a handful of bands that I dig. that I really, really like. As in, I'm gonna play another CD. Like when it comes to black metal, to me, I could say it's Marduk is by far my number one band. Looking at their whole catalog and everything they put out is just fucking great stuff. Coming forth from Marduk, but a little bit uglier, Funeral Mist, I think is fucking great. Just really evil, really dirty, really creative, and aggressive and dark. And the same goes for Immortal. I think that stuff is really awesome. Then I think I'm almost there.
Oh, so you liked very little, yeah.
There's very few bands that I can come up now that I would say like I'm gonna play a whole record and that's gonna interest me from beginning to end. Maybe
So what's your take then?
Almost.
So I guess it's probably gonna be an outlandish take, just like Slayer, Megadeth, and Black Sabbath. I never asked what do you think of Bathory then?
Do you want me to be honest?
100%.
I don't know if I ever heard more, but there's one Bathory cover on. There's a band covering Bathory. I think it was Brutality who did that. Brutality
I don't know if
from
Brutality did, but I mean a lot
Seth.
of bands have.
They did an 11 minute song from Bathory, I think.
Oh, that'd be a later Bathory song than like Twilight of the God. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't even like those albums. I like the first 4 albums by Bathory: Bloodfire, Death, Down.
Let me look up the song real quick because
yeah, it's
you
probably
might
off
know
Twilight of the God.
because
it's
these
probably off
11
Hammerheart or
minutes.
Twilight of the Gods.
Yeah, let me check it. Brutality, it's on here. It's called Shores in Flames.
And it's 11 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a Bathory cover. Let me look that up as well, because I might be completely wrong.
Brutality fucking wrote that?
No, they covered it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Covered. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like Brutality would. That seems kind of weird.
Let me check this. Shores in Flames. Yeah, it was not the first, but that's what I remember.
I'm guessing. My guess is Twilight of the Gods or Hammerheart. Yep. Boom, man, I'm damn good. Hammerheart's the first song.
Yeah.
First song off Hammerheart, Shores in Flames. 11 minutes and 9 seconds.
So the band, yeah, I see it now too. So the band Brutality covered that, and these 11 minutes are the only 11 minutes I ever heard of Bathory.
So you never even heard like Bathory, like the actual album?
I never checked them out for some reason, man.
I mean, to be honest, for 1984, and I do like the album. I mean, it is the most satanic thing of fucking like the 80s for a while. I mean, it sounds like, because you know how like people are calling like Venom black metal and shit, but then there's dogs like it's not really black metal based by today's standards. Like when you listen to Bathory, the first album, it sounds like black metal, and it came out in 1984. Like it's like the street vocals, and it's really raw, but it's more of kind of like a punk D beats type beats. Like it's not blast beats.
Yeah.
But I mean it's dark and evil as fuck sounding. I mean, check it out, man. You might love it. Might be your new favorite band.
There were always these older people than me telling me that I had to check out, and here they come again, Venom, Celtic Frost, Possessed, blah, blah, blah. So I checked a few of these bands out and kind of added Bathory to that pile, like, oh, that's probably one of those bands. And yeah. I don't like any of these bands. They never did anything to me. Because I went straight from Metallica and Iron Maiden, and I jumped into death metal.
Yeah.
And that was the death metal of the early 90s, like 89 and later. So 89 meaning, or maybe even a year earlier, like Scream Bloody Gore was out there. But when I got into death metal, that was probably in 90 or 91. So that's when all the killer shit, like the first Deicides, the first Morbid Angels, the blah, blah, blah. So everything that they were influenced by that I checked out later sounded dull compared to these bands.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the funny thing. These bands were influenced by them.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the influence. I like what came out of that. And that's
it's funny,
thing,
but technically everyone does that to an extent. Because think about it. Yeah. The guys that were influenced by the Bathories, the Celtic Frost, the Venoms, those guys are recommending, Well,
Yeah.
Venom, Bathory, Celtic Frost, they weren't influenced by shit. They were influenced by fucking 60s hard rock and shit, literally.
Yes. Like Black Who. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Exactly.
yeah, but that's how it works. And now comes the cool thing. All these metalcore bands that we bitch about were influenced by, and here they come, Deicide, Morbid Angel, Suffocation, Napalm Death, maybe even newer bands, man. Maybe there's even metalcore bands that have Severe Torture as an influence. Who knows? But probably Devourment, Gorgasm, but also liked Meshuggah. They
Yeah.
maybe liked Dillinger Escape Plan. They might have liked some black metal bands because there's a lot of high screaming going on in metalcore. I mean,
Yeah.
and these fans, we're doing exactly the same thing, man. We're old fucks. We're telling them, oh, but man,
Yeah.
you want to listen to real
That is
man
true.
death metal, you
That is
gotta
true.
listen
Yeah.
to these guys. You don't even know what that is because
Yeah.
you listen to this metalcore shit. You weren't even born when blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you know what? You know what? After metalcore, there's gonna be something that you even hate more,
Oh,
and
1000%.
we
Yeah.
don't even want to know. We are the Black Sabbaths, and they are the Morbid Angels, and they, and that's the cool thing. And sometimes you go back in history and you listen to shit, and sometimes it hits the spot, but sometimes it's not the right moment. And when I was listening to Morbid Angel, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Dismember, Grave, don't come up with Bathory, don't come up with Possessed. I'm not in that
Mhm.
time frame right now. And when you get older, you get to consume more in your brain, but it needs to settle in, and some stuff takes time.
Yeah. The
And
thing
you're
is, I think
looking,
so, dude. Now that you say that, I think I really lucked out because you're older than me. So,
yeah,
and you didn't go back to the older stuff. I think the reason where I got into both was because I first heard Cannibal Corpse, right? And then the
yeah,
Deicides and Morbid Angels. But very soon after that, you got to remember, I didn't hang out, me and my brothers, we didn't hang out with anybody at school or anybody our own age. Everybody we associated with and talked with was guys that we met at shows, guys like yourself we met, right? But in the
yeah,
local scene, the guys we met, they were those old guys we were saying. They're the ones that
mm,
saying, hey, Possessed, Death, Celtic Frost, Venom, Merciful Fate,
yeah,
all that shit. So I heard that within a year or two of getting into what I heard. So it was really in the beginning. So it's almost like I got to hear both. So that's why when people like
yeah,
they might look at it and they hear this conversation like, well, Seth's older than Justin. How does Seth not like Seven Churches, but Justin does? And I think for that reason, because the guys all I hung around with, they did, and I heard it I was still very young. I remember Jim
yeah,
Sadis, rest in peace. He's the one that gave me a burn. Like he made fun of us.
mm,
You don't like Venom. You don't have. I was like, I don't know it. I was like, I know of them. I see the shirts, and I know they're the first black metal
yeah,
band. Oh, you like all these fucking gay black metal bands, screechy vocals and trigger drums. He's like, this is real black metal, and he gave me a burn copy of the album Black Metal, and
yeah,
it was a little bit of a. It's funny you say that. The first listen was, oh, this is kind of tame and shit compared to Marduk and yeah, and Marduk and Immortal and Dark Funeral and the shit that I was listening to. I was like, but I kind of like I don't know, it's kind of catchy. It's kind of growing on me. You know what I mean? Like, but at the first
yeah,
listen, it was almost like yeah, like a shock, not a shock. You're just kind of like this is kind of weak. Like, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah. That was my thing as well. I saw the logo, I saw the artwork, I saw, oh, this is the influence of all these bands, and then I played Venom, and I was like, this is it. This
yeah.
is it. This is what all the fuss is about. Okay, nah, man, I'll put on Heaven Shall Burn or fucking Panzer Division Marduk
Yeah.
any day before I put on Venom. Yeah, and maybe someday I will start liking it. But there's a few oldies that I like, but that's also because my dad was not playing Venom; he was playing The
Yeah.
Doors, he was
Yeah.
playing Pink Floyd. So there was other seeds planted early, and but I can see where it's coming from, and I can see the influence that they had and how shocking it must have been for people in that time.
What did your
Uh,
like? 'Cause I never even asked you. What were your parents' reaction when you were getting into metal and playing metal? And like, what was their take? Did they pay attention? Did they even listen to it? Like, what you first starting Centurion and the Severe Torture after you're listening?
yeah.
Like, what is their reaction? What do they think? What do they say?
Well, I'm first of all, I'm from a really small Catholic village, so that was the thing with upside down crosses and all that kind of stuff. That needed some time with my parents to sink in, you know, like, okay, he's really
Sure.
serious about this. And it led to some discussions at the dinner table where me as a 15, 16, 17-year-old was really being the adolescent, let's say it like that, you know, and having my ways of trying to shock them and bash Christianity in every way possible. Because really, when I went to high school and I had to go to a little bit of a bigger village than the small one I was from because the school was there, that's when I saw like that was more in life than just this Catholic white fucking village that I came from.
Mhm.
And also I saw the whole hypocrisy of religion going on right in front of my own eyes. And like, okay, what they preach and what they do are two completely different things.
Mhm.
And then I I was always doubting the whole fact, like, okay, so Snow White is not real, Santa Claus is not real,
Right.
but God still is.
Yeah.
How fucking stupid are you, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but this is what I believe. Yeah, and I believe you're full of shit. You know,
Yeah.
that's always my way of logic with that. You know, I'm a pure atheist, and I always was, and I always will be. All
Mhm.
this mumbo jumbo shit can go up my ass, you know. So yeah, that took some time for them to get used to, because in the beginning they were like, "Oh, you only want to shock people, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's literally what we want to do. We want to open some eyes because you fuckers are all blind. You know, you're just following, you're doing whatever is expected, and you have this Bible and you stop thinking for yourselves, you know, and I don't like that. And I don't even like the fact that you have that and that you feel so prior to other people like, oh, this is good and it's bullshit. Knock it off, you know, just
Yeah.
have a debate instead of this mumbo jumbo shit. Not that my parents were overly religious, because they weren't, you know, they were Catholics, and Catholics are like, okay, we're religious, but we're not.
That's how we were raised. Because we're born and raised Catholic too.
Yeah, it's not so strict over here. You know, they usually only go to
Yeah.
church when it's Christmas and or
That's kind
when
of how we
some.
grew up too. I mean, it was a little bit more
Yeah.
often than that, but yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I was really fanatic in these days, and the anger is still there. You know, they're like, "Oh yeah, that will pass when you grow older." No, it won't. You know,
Your
and I
parents still alive?
still.
Are your parents still around?
Oh yeah, they're still alive, and
Okay.
we have a good relationship. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
everything good. You know, and, but they were also, you know, they've been really letting me do my thing. You know, they never said you can't do this or you can't wear that shirt, or no, they discussed it with me and they had their opinion. And over the years, I saw their opinion change a bit. You know, way more towards me, and they. Well, I would say they've seen the dark light, not the light, but the dark one. They've
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dark. They know it now. But nah, they're, you know, and I can see where they're coming from. Different time frame, and they use it as an excuse as well. I was like, no, you should have bashed it back then as well if you have a different opinion about certain stuff. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, because people are gonna look at you. Also in my family, kind of like the black sheep. You know, like you're the weird one. You know, you didn't grow up because you still play death metal. And then in the beginning, when I was playing, especially some people in my family, first thing they ask is like, "Oh yeah, but then when you play shows, how much money do you make with that?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Shut the fuck up, man, fucking douchebag." Yeah, yeah, I don't see you all year. You're like some uncles and aunts of mine, you know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
haven't seen you all
it's the
year.
same shit, dude. Exact
You're
same shit.
never interested in anything I do, and then
Yeah.
the first thing you want to know how much money I make, whether that is what makes it successful or not, you know, because apparently they've been so fucking brainwashed that all for them that matters is money.
Well, I
You
think
know,
they hear
that's the only thing
musician
they think
when
about.
all the only thing they know a musician is big musicians that are rich. They hear
Yeah, but
musician
then
rich, so
then always the next question comes up, like, yeah, but then you make this death metal, but hey, you guys are such good musicians, and yeah, I like the music, but then the
yeah,
dude
I
starts singing, well,
can't
and then they're
understand what
like,
you're
yeah, but
saying.
yeah, but you got so much talent. Why don't you make like one commercial hit? You make a lot of money with that, and then you do your fun. And then it's like, dude, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not even gonna explain it. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it irritates me even when speaking about it, when people are
Yeah.
so dumb and have such empty fucking lives. You know, I go to school, I get married, I fuck 2 kids together, I do this, I get cancer, I die. Well, then fuck you, man. It's a waste of fucking air. It's a
Yeah.
waste of fucking air. At least when you do a job, do something for me. But if you don't want to, please, if you live that life, do your thing, but don't tell me what the fuck to do.
Mm.
And these are people, when I meet someone and he tells me really enthusiastic, like, hey, I'm doing this or that. It doesn't matter even what the fuck it is, but someone is enthusiastic about something,
Yeah. Actually, it's
you
passion.
know, passion
Yeah.
about something. It doesn't matter what, if it's working in your garden, if it's this, if it's that, but if you're passionate about something, you can tell passionate about it.
Dude, it's funny
I
'cause
will
I
have,
say this all the time, and people do that. That's why part of the channel it's so fun doing, but I hate it so much because my shit gets so
yeah,
taken out of context. Like people
yeah.
think I talk about the fat ball, the fat ball game over here, right? Everyone thinks that I hate it, that the football, but I call it fat ball
Oh,
because it's a bunch
okay.
of fat guys running around. Everyone thinks that I hate the sport and that I hate that everybody that's into it. Yeah, I don't follow it. I think it's dumb, but I don't think the sport's dumb. What annoys me about it is because exactly what you're explaining is vast majority of the people that are into it and fans of it, which is huge over here, dude. Right? Huge. Everybody watches it. Is because they have to. It's how they're raised. It's what's socially acceptable. I was like, I have no problem with a fat ball fan when
Yeah,
but that you can tell they're legitimately passionate. They're excited. But dude, when the
yeah.
guy's wearing the jersey of the team, right? And he's in the supermarket at the same time I am, and the game's on. What the fuck are you doing here, homie? That's like literally like Deicide's on stage. Let me go do my groceries, bro. You're a fucking poser, dude. You're a fucking
Yep.
poser. And that's
Yeah, and
I
that's
use them as a benchmark as an example because everybody can understand it. They think I'm just hating on the sport. I'm like, you missed the whole fucking point. It's just everyone in
yeah,
this country can relate. It's just majority of the fan base, they have no passion. It's exactly like
yeah,
you said, dude. Yeah, just get married, have kids, have your 9 to 5 job that you fucking hate, watch the fat ball game on Sunday and die of cancer. It's exactly what it
yeah.
is. It's
And
100%
you
what it
gotta,
is.
yeah, I think in life you gotta see things for what they are, and go. Let's go back like what is it, half an hour, 45 minutes, where we were talking about when there's bands reunions with only one original band member, but there's still a demand of people who want to watch that. There's nothing wrong with that, but first, don't do it for outrage prices. Don't all of a sudden because it's popular start selling your shirts for $50 because
Mm,
that's a ripoff. But if people want to see it, that's okay, but see it for what it is.
yeah.
If I see a reunion with one original band member, let's say everyone in Iron Maiden dies today, and
Mhm.
Bruce Dickinson, like in 5 years, is going to do a reunion tour with a bunch of really good musicians who can play this, good and well and blah, blah, blah. And I don't care if Zach Wild is on stage. I don't give a shit about Zach Wild. He can do it if he
It'll
can
be
play
Kerry King,
well.
dude. It'll be Kerry King from that Slayer play.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it. But anyway, if he would do that, of course I would go see it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so it's want to see him sing one more time and whatever, but see it for what it is. Don't put it on the same level as, let's say, Aberration from Norway, a new band that comes out with a new album that is hungry and created something new. When I watch that, that's something new. That's a band. That is, the other thing is a reunion or a cover band or whatever.
Yeah.
See for what it is. And that's the same with if you hear someone speak about what he's doing, listen and try to place it in context. But these people are so fucking brainwashed because of this old-fashioned life, and you got to do what you're told to do. And it's the same thing. My dad is an actor in he does plays and all that kind of stuff. He always did that as a hobby. But when he was younger, he wanted to go to the acting school in Amsterdam. But my granddad was like, hell fucking no, you're not gonna do that. You got
Yeah.
three options. Either you're gonna be a carpenter, or you're gonna be a painter, and then he had one other option, work in construction or whatever. And then he was like, no, I don't like the other two, so let's be a carpenter. So he was working and he made wooden stairs and all that kind of stuff he's a craftsman, and he did that for 40 years straight. And then in his spare time, he did his hobby. He could, I'm 100% sure if my dad would have gone to that school in Amsterdam, he would have been a famous Dutch actor right now.
Mhm.
100%, because I see he has the talent. He always gets the main roles over here when he does his groups. He does like other things. They get a lot of visitors, actually, a few hundred actually, every time he plays. Good reviews all over in the newspapers, but all local. But then when I was younger, I was like, Dad, he told me that story. I was like, why didn't you rebel more? You should have just fucking left the house and go to
Yeah.
that school and live your dream. An American would have done it because you guys have bigger balls for a
Well,
longer
yeah,
time.
but there's a lot of that too. Like if you would have gone back to, granted, I wasn't alive, but you know the history and you hear your parents and grandparents, you just know like if it would have been the 1920s, 30s, the 50s, people did just conform. They kind of just, this is what you're supposed to do. You literally like, dude, people were getting married at 18, 19 years old, starting their families and get a factory job and just be miserable all their lives.
Yeah,
That
but
was like the norm.
the reaction from people that were the same age as my parents the first time that I toured the States was when they asked, "Oh, you guys from Holland? What do you do?" Yeah, we play in a death metal band and we do a tour here in the States. And they're like, "Oh, wow, holy shit! Oh, that's good, man. Go for it. Go for it." No one here said that. My uncles were the same age, and they're like, "Yeah, but you're not making any money." They were like bitching at it, like
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
I'm telling them, it's like, "Oh, Seth, how are you doing?" Yeah, and in the short version is, I'm doing great. I'm doing exactly what I want, and everything is going super. And they will still bitch at it. And I'm like, dude, didn't you hear what I just said? See it for what it is. Accept
yeah.
it because I say I'm
Dude, it's
doing
funny you
great.
say that because I don't know why these idiots can't. Because, dude, we have the exact same shit in our family. Exact same shit. I think everybody does. And the way I
Yeah,
look at it is like someone in like your position. So you got that uncle, and he's like, yeah, but you don't make any money. What I would say to him, what I would like, well, I probably wouldn't. I just because I didn't want to argue with him. But in my mind, what I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, homie, let's just put it to this perspective. Let's say you die at 80 years old, and I die at 80 years old. We each had 80 years on this planet, right?
yeah,
If I watched a movie of your dumbass life and I watched a movie of my life, I guarantee my life was way better just for the sheer fact of look at all the
yeah,
countries you visited. He probably's barely been out of fucking Howland. Or he's
yeah,
damn sure has never been
well,
nearly as many places as you have. And if he has, most guys that say that shit, they haven't. Because well, our one cousin said the same thing to our brother Craig when he was a Nunslaughter. Then he's been in Japan, he's been all over Scandinavia, and she
yeah,
made a comment. And it's like, you've never even been out of the state of Ohio. I've been all over the world. Like, what are you talking about? If I was to die right now,
yeah,
as far as what a lifetime is considered, because realistically, what is a lifetime? A lifetime is just a collection of memories. If I was to
yeah,
die today, and now, meanwhile, mind you, you're 12 years older than me.
yeah,
If you still lived on, my life, I did more than you did in your entire, and you're older than me. You just
mhm,
did the normal everyday shit that everybody does. If you could
yeah,
truly go see the world, you
yeah,
definitely did more than the average person. Just that alone.
yeah. And in my opinion, it's kind of good to do both because to be really honest, when you never had and you did the same. I mean, you worked your ass off, and you still do. But if you don't, if you only live the dream and only you start living on a cloud and you start walking next to your shoes, arrogance can come up. That's what I wanted to prevent. That's why I wanted balance in my life. So I think the job, and it also the job gives me some kind of safety, as in I know I have a monthly income, so no
Yeah,
worries about my bills.
yeah,
No worries at all. I never have to collect or go fund me or whatever because I have insurance. I have health insurance. Boom,
yeah,
done. So now that's settled, no worries. I can focus on my other shit, on my cool
yeah.
shit, my fun stuff.
Thousand
And
percent.
I think that balance is kind of good, in some way. But just the work and just the work for working and, do what, watch TV in the evening,
No, I agree.
being,
I totally agree with that. And part of it is
yeah,
like
that's
I
boring.
definitely done more than the average person. Part of it was time
Yeah,
just flew by so much, and
yeah,
nothing came up that I wanted to go to. And if I was to critique my own life and look back at it, there's probably more things I should have gone to. However, having said that, for the most part, when stuff popped up, if I was to find out about an event, whether it be out of town or something, I generally, and if I wanted to go to it, I would say 80% of it I did do. So it wasn't like I over the time I didn't turn down a ton of things that I did want to do. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of events that I copped out or didn't go to because I didn't want to go to. And if you were to ask me today, I was like, I still don't want to go to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's nothing bad in sometimes having to miss out on something, because there's the fear of missing out. People have to attend everything. Hey man, don't put yourself in that stupid position, man. It creates stress.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to miss out on something. Ask others, hey, how was it? And next time you're going to be there, it's going to be more fun again. You're like, oh man, I made it this time. I don't know. It's all a lot of philosophy about stuff, and but I think in the end, what matters is that, whatever you do it because you want to do it and not because other people expect you to do it. And to me that always mattered a lot. And still sometimes I have to do stuff I don't like, or that I have to do because it's just what you have to do to make a
Yeah, of
living.
course.
Or and that's good for you. That's good for people. It gives you discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was make sure we went over that. Was there any other topics that you had ahead of time that you wanted to go over that we didn't yet? Because I was leaving the topics up to you. Was there anything? Because we're going on
I'm
2 hours, I think, and I'll eventually have to eat. I'm sure the wife's going to hit me up soon, but I want to make sure the topics we're supposed to talk to we at least addressed. And then
Yeah,
again,
and otherwise,
whatever people want us to talk about, put in the comments, that we can go over.
we save one for the next time that we forgot about. Yeah, we went off topic a few times, but that's probably going to happen more. That's no
No,
problem, I guess.
but the thing is, that sounds like that's perfect, though. I actually like that to happen. That's why I do when I go on my rants on the show. Some people are like, dude, what the fuck? You weren't even addressing what you talked about. I was like, dude, that's the whole point. Like, and I didn't intentionally do that, but I let it flow like that. I was like, I was like, otherwise, if you just go by a script of stuff that like only answer this, it's gonna be over in no time. You're gonna run out of shit to talk about. We wouldn't have been able to talk about 2 hours if it's like, all right, let's knock out these 3 topics and get the fuck out of here. It'd be like 30 minutes. And if you actually listen to other podcasts, which because I listen to podcasts of stuff, that's how they go. They just flow wherever the conversation goes. But to get the ball rolling, it's good to have at least 2, 3 things to get it started. And then wherever the conversation goes, then it goes. That's why even when I interview bands, I need to have at least, because people don't believe me, other than like Glenn Benton and Corpse Grinder and this last one I just did with Ghoul, I had a pre-printed questions off, right? But 95% of the interviews I did, it was literally off the top of my head. All I did is I went in there with 1 or 2 things I wanted to ask, and then just let it rip. Because I knew the conversation would start and it would go, and it's worked pretty good for most.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I mean, at least you get some natural conversations and spontaneous. When topics come up spontaneously, then you're gonna get the most spontaneous answers, I guess.
Yeah.
So that works for every interview, but it's not really an interview, more like a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. This is more like a podcast. Yeah. At this point. Yeah.
Let's call it a
100%.
podcast.
What's that?
Let's call it a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
never
kind of what
really
it is,
listened to
right?
them. To me, it's
And
like a
podcasts,
new age term, like podcasts and all that kind of stuff. It's really new age stuff to me. But
dude, it's fun. It's fun, dude.
yeah.
100%. I'll be honest with you. I mean, granted, it was before my channel, but not much before. For years and years, I didn't even know what a podcast was. People like that's on that podcast. I'm like, what the fuck is a podcast? Like, I didn't know until about 2 to 5, 6 years ago. Didn't even know what the fuck it was. I was like, what the hell is a podcast? I don't even know what the fuck that is. And when people would tell me, I'm like, it's just a fucking YouTube video, dude. That's not a podcast. And then now it's like, I was like, I guess I get it, but you know.
To come back to that one uncle of mine that said, like, hey, you're not making any money. That was what I wanted to say. Like, what is your payment then? I was like, dude, I don't know, man. What my payment is. We went into a rehearsal room and from scratch, we wrote an album that they liked overseas. Then they fly us out there for free, put us in a hotel, let us play the Ohio Death Fest, and then a dude named Justin comes up and brings booklets of my other bands to have autographs. Okay, and you asked me what my payment was.
Well, obviously that wasn't your response to your uncle. What did you?
Something like that. It was something like that.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Our payment is way bigger. It's like,
what did he? What was his response?
they kind of get it then, but still, some of these old-fashioned fucks are still so brainwashed that they still don't get it. They're like, yeah, but you could still blah blah blah. Why don't you join a cover band and then you could do that on the weekdays and blah blah. And it's like, dude,
Dude,
yeah,
guys
but
like
you
that, when I hear
like
that shit, when I hear
they're
shit
also
like
like
that,
when
when I
yeah, but
hear
they're like,
people
yeah,
say
you
that, I'm
could
like,
do
did you do that? Well, no. Then how the fuck are you giving me advice on a topic of something you never did either?
yeah. Yeah, and then to me it was really easy. The answer was like, to me, music is a serious thing, and there's a certain feeling behind music and a certain message and a certain this, a certain that. I make music for a reason. And a job at a warehouse, I don't give a shit what the reason is, and I don't even give a shit what the product is. It's for money.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I could never play music that I am not behind, that I don't stand for as a job.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If my own band is going to gather so much money that I can live from it, fine. But I'm not going to join a band that I hate or that that's just popular. But I can use my drumming skills in that band and then make a shitload of money. But actually, I hate the shit. But it's a job. To come back to the
Well,
first
let's put it
topic.
that way. Let's flip the thing. Would you do this if this was the offer? Let's say you were able to do your fun bands as a hobby,
Yeah.
but full time, your gig was to play music you don't care about, but you no longer have to work a full time job. You're making as much, if not
No.
more, money. Would you not do it?
No. No.
Be-
Because I like my full time job way more that I have now
okay.
than play drums in a shitty band.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you
That's
would
what I
see it
do
as like
now.
I don't know if you would see it as like I don't like the music, but this is my paycheck band. I was like, I at least like playing the drums. And yes, I don't like
Nah,
this music, but I'm not taking this music serious. But at least it's a job
no.
that I enjoy that I'm getting paid for.
No one would take my other music serious anymore.
Okay.
No. Why? I mean, it's stupid. I would never do that.
Yeah.
No, no. Music has more. How do you say that?
Personal meaning or
More no, more key factors that have to be okay for me to do it. And the job I'm doing now is a real push because I work with kids. So that's a personal job. So if you're not qualified for that, if you don't want to work there, you shouldn't be working there. Because there's a personal thing going on. But if you work with product and it's just a job like a forklift truck or whatever, and it's not a really sensitive thing like the weapon industry or whatever, or some other topic that might be
yeah,
controversial, then it's just a job, and and
yeah.
and with music to me it's different. How the hell could I try to be serious with a band like Centurion, Severe Torture, Cthulhuminati, Grey Aura, Voodoo Gods, and then but my day job is I play in a Justin Bieber cover band. Yeah,
Right.
man, please go. Yeah, fuck your other bands as well. You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah,
I could probably jam the beats, but I don't want to
yeah,
do that. I'm
yeah,
I'm I hate doing that. When I make music, it's serious, and when I work, well, yeah, if it's just a job, it's just a job. It's for
now what
money.
about
I do
okay,
this.
what about this other? What about this position? Let's say it's a band you like. Let's say Iron Maiden is going to hire you, but it's a job. You're a hired drummer, but it's enough money. Let's say you make double what you make at your job, and you'd
Yeah.
be enough to you. Let's say that's a guaranteed gig. You're going to be a cover band for the next 20 years, like basically until you're tired. It's guaranteed. Would you do that as a job, as a paycheck? Because you at least do like the band, the music. Obviously, you're a fan of them. Would you do that in that case?
With the real Iron Maiden or a cover band.
Well, let's say all the other guys died, but Bruce Dickinson was alive. He's like, I need a drummer, Seth.
Oh, that band. Yeah, when it would be with Bruce, then I would take them. I'll probably do it. Yeah, but that's an authentic musician.
Okay,
It's not. If it would be a cover band, hell no.
okay.
I'm not gonna make money off the creative art of someone else.
Well, who's a metal band in the scene now that you consider a cover band? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, of course, there's Death to All. There's
Yeah,
Left to
well, yeah,
Die.
okay, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah,
I think Gruesome is different because Gruesome was like, they were like, okay, we want to get the spirit back alive, but not with a cover band, but we want to make new songs like what would Chuck make?
yeah, yeah.
But I see it for what it is. So I like it. I like Gruesome. I think even I got the new album recently, by the way. That's really cool. By the way, you don't have
I
these two, do you? Check these out. These nice
that's
ones.
that's the abhorration.
Yes, the
I was gonna
demo
ask you if those
and
came
the
in.
album.
So is that the one? The logo is the demo,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the
This is
other
the
one's the
demo,
album.
and this is the album.
Which do you
Great
like
stuff.
more?
I think the album is slightly better than the demo. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for
it's
myself, I wanted to
good
get. I
stuff,
wanted
man.
to
I
pick
love
those up.
the demo. The demo is good too, man. The demo is fucking rough
Dude, I
shit.
was gonna when you brought it up too, I was like, yeah, I should just go pick them up too. But I don't know what the deal is with ordering with all this tariff shit as far as individual stuff. For business wise, it
You know
seems like
that
we're getting
one?
stuff. Was it autopsy, sever survival? There's a
No,
clear
that's
on
the
it.
new group.
Oh, it looks like autopsy there. No, I only own the first two groups. I own the one up to the spiritual healing looking cover, the twisted prayers.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't heard the newest. But I mean, I like the others. I just the new one came out. I haven't heard it, but I will.
Yeah, it's just I think it's good stuff. It's honoring Chuck's legacy, and it's a brilliant album. It's like Human a bit, and even the artwork and some of the songs, even the second song kind of starts with a double bass thing, like you get a Suicide Machine kind of feel with the second song and all that kind. So even yeah, there's a lot of detail in it, and I like that, man. It's cool, and they sound awesome, and it's great. But I see it for what it is. There's for me, when Deicide would put out a new album or Immolation, to me that has more value because that
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
is
of
the
course.
authentic band.
Yeah,
Yeah, and actually the same with Aberration. I mean, it's a new band. It's
yeah,
fresh. It's new. And but the other one, Gruesome, has always been obviously. And they always said it like, hey, this is honoring death and all that
yeah, of
kind of
course, yeah.
stuff. For the rest, I don't care for any cover band at all. None. No Death
Well,
to All. No Left Eye. No
speaking
this.
of
No
death and
that.
shit, though, I'm surprised you even liked that far. What all did you like by death? Did you like every death album?
Uh, Let me say the first one I heard was Spiritual Healing.
Okay,
Because they had that in the library over here, and I rented it for like 3 guilders, and then you could keep it for like a week or a couple of days, I don't know, and tape it, of course. I loved the fuck out of that record, and then
yeah,
everyone came up to me like, "Oh, Leprosy's even better," but I thought Spiritual Healing was better than Leprosy. I always thought it was. I like
okay,
Leprosy, by the way. Then I heard Scream Bloody Gore. So first from Spiritual Healing, I went back.
okay,
I like Scream Bloody Gore. A sick record, especially seeing what day it's from and or what year. It's insane that he
yeah.
was doing that. So to me, that was like the real first death metal record.
Mhm.
Um, real death metal, not pre death metal or whatever. Like
Yeah,
not like the pre cum like
they
possessed and all that kind of stuff.
they
That was
call the proto. They call the kids call it prototype death metal, proto death, and proto
yeah, but
black
the
and all that.
real ejaculation came with death and
Yeah.
Deicide and Angel autopsy, of course. Let's not forget them in the beginning.
Well, you
Incantation,
didn't
all these
like, but
guys.
what I mean is, you didn't like every death album. Like, did you like Symbolic and Sounds of
I
Perseverance
like
and all
some,
that?
well, I loved Human because we were listening to more technical stuff, and then Death kind of started doing that too, and especially also Human is from '91, man, and it's already progressive sounding, so they were ahead of their game.
Hmm.
Um, Same with Atheist. I might see them Friday, by the way.
Atheist?
Uh, Atheist, yeah, they're on tour here with Origin, but
Oh no
today I
shit.
saw the bus. Yeah, the bus broke
I
down.
mean, you're buddies with the guys in Origin, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So how
So
how often are you seeing a
and
lot of
then
U.S. bands like that you're friends with? Like I mean, like for example, Ronnie was just over there. You said with Pyrexia.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how often is that a scenario that you're going to a show and you're seeing the U.S. guys that you're a fan of and friends with for years on end? Is that a common thing?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's a couple of times a month, or even sometimes it's like 2 times in one weekend. But also sometimes a couple of months no one comes by.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of
But
saying okay, same here
yeah,
then. Yeah.
yeah. As long as all these bands keep touring and keep visiting
Yeah.
Holland, then I can still go watch them and meet them and see them. But to come back to the death question, which ones I like, then Individual came out, and I really like that also because of Gene Hoglan's drums. And then Symbolic came out, and that was the first time I saw them live. So I
Okay.
never saw them before that. I mean, uh, Patrick saw them, I think, already on the Human tour. because he always had more money than me. So he saw them on the human tour, and I definitely on the individual tour. But I saw them first time on a symbolic tour, and I think that was together with Grave, Gorefest. I saw them one time in Belgium. Yeah, and Grave had Solace out,
Okay.
and I think Gorefest just released Erase. But I saw Gorefest already in '93 when they had Falls out. I saw them on the Dynamo Fest where they
Yeah,
recorded the album in
the record they
'71.
put out. Yeah, the live
Yeah, I
release.
was there.
Yeah, it's
I
cool as
was like,
fuck.
I was 16 or something. Yeah, 16 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then the Sound of Perseverance came out, and then I was like, hey man, I don't fucking like Judas Priest, so I'm done. Yeah,
So you don't like
really.
Priest at all either? Nothing by Priest?
Come on, man.
Well, because there's that debate like who's better, Priest or Maiden? You know what I mean? The two of them. They go
Oh,
over
that's definitely Maiden. Yeah.
that. See, I know guys that say definitely Priest.
Yeah, well, that's their truth.
Yeah.
That's cool for them. Probably to their ears, that's exactly what it is. And I can't completely understand why certain people don't like Maiden, because sometimes it sounds really fucking happy. It's melodic as shit. It's sometimes really, I don't know, man. It's just, it hits the spot or it doesn't.
No, to be
It's
fair, dude,
taste.
I can honestly say I don't know anybody that doesn't like Maiden. Now, when I say anybody, I'm not talking about some 19-year-old
I
fucking
know a few.
deathcore kid, but I'm talking about grown men. I don't know any.
Ask Rob.
Oh,
Ask Rob
I
what
don't.
he
I think
thinks
I
of
might have
Maiden.
asked. Okay, yeah. uh, I think I did
He's
know.
not a fan, bro.
Okay, yeah.
He's not a
Well, over
fan.
well over here in the U.S., everybody likes Maiden, everybody likes Priest.
Yeah, and everybody likes Slayer, except for one
Well,
guy.
everybody does like Slayer. Yeah, you can. I can honestly say, dude, in the metal scene, again, I don't count these. I don't count these children. You know what I mean? Who just finally got
Yeah.
in this. And the reason I don't, that sounds like a dick. I was like, just dude, because you're probably not even gonna be listening to this 20 years from now. That's really why I've seen so many people leave. That's like, you almost gotta like, as fucked up as it sounds, you almost have to like earn your stripes with me before I'm gonna take your opinion for anything, because it's like you're probably gonna be gone. So you're probably not that into it anyways. So
Yeah.
having said that, people that been up to some time, I don't. You, yeah, I think you're the first person I ever heard said I don't like anything by Slayer. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever heard
there's a
that.
few people. There's a few more people I know by now who are not Slayer fans, and over the years, of course, I see how influential they are, and a lot of people dig them, and that's fine, man. I mean, there's so many bands I don't like that have a big following. Hey, man, you can't like everything, but it's just a matter of taste, like I said, and that can even change over time. You know,
Yeah, no, because
nothing
that's how
wrong
I
with
was
that.
for bands like I was like that for bands like Voivod and Blasphemy. I never got into them that were considered like
Yeah,
the bands you have to like. Um,
yeah.
and I remember even saying that. I'm like, I was like, I figure people are gonna make fun of me left and right. I was like, I just don't. I listen to them. I don't really like it, man. I mean, again, I don't hate them. I don't think they're terrible. I was like, it just does nothing for me.
Yeah, but still, I mean, good tomato sauce and ground beef and pasta is not a guarantee for good spaghetti.
I, I guess so. Yeah, depends who's making it, right?
How it works. It's all about the touch, man. Mama's
Yeah,
touch.
yeah.
Did daddy hit it good back in that womb or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what it is, man. And
Yeah.
taste is something you can discuss it, but I usually think it's useless to discuss taste. You can just say, hey, this is why I like it, this is why not. But sometimes you don't even know why you like something. You just like it or you don't, you know?
Sure.
And
It's
that's
like food.
fine.
If someone's ask you like, why do you like that burger? You can't really answer like because it tastes good. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, because it tastes good. That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Why are you wearing that shirt? Yeah, because I'm wearing it.
Did you wear that shirt to work?
Which one? This one? No, I
Yeah.
put this on especially for today because do you recognize this?
Of course, it's Leviticus Fest for the Sick. Of course, I recognize it.
This is on the band picture of Feasting on Blood, man.
Oh, that's what's
It's
okay.
this one,
But yeah,
this
of course.
shirt.
Fetish, we actually redid those and licensed pressed Fetish for the Sick and Age of Clitoral Decay. And I want to do those, especially Age of Clitoral Decay on vinyl. Um,
Yeah,
but that's a whole other goddamn story. But yeah, no,
sick
of
record,
course, I
man.
know what that stuff is. That was
I
I
love
don't know if that was
Leviticus.
Brian's first release I think it might have been. I think that's Bladed Records, Brian's
Yeah.
first. If it's not, it's like his second or third. But I think Fetish for the Sick is Brian's first CD he put out on a Bladed
Mhm.
Records.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also the time when we had the demo out with Severe Torture that I traded with Dave and also with Brian. I
Oh, you just
traded with
straight up, you guys. How did you hit guys like that up back then? Just was it just emailed still, or
Actually, it was Dave Kibler who hit me up. I think he was the first American guy who ever hit me up like, "Hey man, I want to trade demos. I have a distro."
but how would
Blah,
he?
blah,
If
blah.
you were just on a demo band and you're on the other side of the fucking world, how did he even get your email?
Flyers, man,
Okay,
flyers.
that's what. Yeah,
Because we, I don't know the Severe Torture flyers. I remember when we got orders from the States or for Centurion demos that we also popped in Severe Torture flyers for that. And we had our addresses on that and all that kind of stuff so people could order. And that's how it went back in the day. You get a flyer from a band with an address, you just write them a letter. Hey man,
yeah.
I'm blah blah blah, and I see your death metal band. You want to trade some stuff? And that's how I got in touch with Dave, because Dave wrote me and then I was like, hey guys, I got a letter from a guy named Dave Kibler from Levidity. He wants to trade demos. And they're like, yeah, but is his band any good? I was like, I don't know, man. I have no clue.
You can't
He
listen to
wants
it.
to
Yeah,
trade demos, and he had the system with a tape is so many points and a CD is so many points. That was
yeah,
all new to me, and I didn't
yeah,
know how
yeah,
that worked.
yeah.
So, but I was like, hey man, yeah, let's trade. And then even I did trades with Von from Deaden
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
Deaden, how you
Yeah, Hymns of
pronounce
the
it.
Sick. Yeah.
Games of the Snake. I got that. I traded with the, I think Severe Torture CDRs or cassettes. I don't know, man. I can't even remember what I sent. But that's also how I got this shirt and how I got in touch with Brian, with Dave, with Vaughn. Then Deeds of Flash was doing a European tour. And I just walked up to the merch booth. That was in '97. That's when I met Eric from Deeds of Flash.
That would have
And then
been
we
what is
started.
that? Inbreeding's out. Inbreeding the Anthropophagi.
Yeah, inbreeding. Yeah, because I got the tour shirt there from inbreeding on that
Yeah.
show. And that's when Eric told me about Dying Fetus, about Cryptopsy, because
Oh,
he
okay.
had a
Yeah.
merch booth. I bought the Hidden Pride CD. You know that one? The one with the parental advisory?
What is it?
Hidden
What's
Pride?
Hidden Pride?
Yeah, from Canada. Sick death metal, bro.
What,
Hidden Pride. You want me to
what's the
show
what's the
this?
what's that's the name of the band? Hidden Pride.
Yeah, Hidden Pride. And they have this parental advisory logo thing as a artwork. And that's actually the name of the album, Parental Advisory.
Oh, I've never heard that either.
Sick shit, man. Eternal Suffering.
Okay, Eternal Suffering. Yeah, no, of course I know them.
Yeah, look at see it a little bit in that category, but Hidden Pride is from Canada. Sick band, bro.
Never heard
So
of
yeah,
them.
they hooked me up with all this stuff. I started trading with them. Then Crisian came to Eindhoven. I told you that story. The first time I saw Crisian. And I had a pack of Centurion flyers with me. And he gave me a big stack of Crisian flyers. I gave him a big stack of Centurion flyers. So when
Yeah,
they were back in Brazil, they were spreading those. And I was spreading here
yeah,
Crisian flyers. And that's how we did it, man, back in the day.
yeah.
So that's how these first balls started rolling. And then when we were at Ohio Death Fest in 2001, that was like the fucking Valhalla of brutal death metal bands. I was talking to all these bands all day, man. I mean,
Yeah,
Brian there with Regurgitation, but Deeds of Flesh, Dying Fetus, Prophecy from Texas,
yeah. They
Sean
were
from
awesome.
Pyro met
Yeah,
him there the first time.
yeah,
I remember him opening up in 2001. Remember with the bar stool next to him?
yeah. Of
And
course.
then him with his glasses on and these long
Yeah,
ass fucking
he's up there all by himself. He's up there all by himself.
fuck yeah, bro. We never saw it like a one man band. What the fuck are you
Yeah, it was
doing?
like, dude, that was like
And then,
unheard of back. That was unheard of back then. He was like the only one
and then
doing it.
yeah, and then he started, and we were like, holy fucking shit, you know? I thought it was
Right.
badass, man. And
Yeah.
it was, you know why I think it was badass? Because he was a fucking diehard. No one was stopping him. You know, same with Sean from Putrid Pile. Hello, Sean, by the way. Good friend of
I don't know
mine.
Sean. I just know Viral Load and the then they did City's Decrepancy, but I never
I
met
think Putrid Pile was a good band, man. Sean Lacan from Putrid Pile, he makes some sick shit. I love his
you know
songs.
what's
He has
funny
some
because
good
I
riffs.
that was a band that I never given really a chance because it was towards like when I first kind of heard about them when all the brutal shit started to get kind of repetitive and the Wiggers
Yeah.
started to get out of hand too, where it was just like
Okay. check this out. If you listen to Putrid Pal, the album House of Dementia,
Okay, I'm not gonna think that's title. Yeah.
when I was doing the vocal patterns for Dennis for Slaughtered, the fifth Severe Torture album, that's the album I was playing nonstop.
Okay, shit.
Sick fucking record and riffs for days, man. Catchy as fuck.
Another reason
And
I
it's
never
one
checked
dude,
out the reason I never checked out Putrepile for whatever reason, maybe because all the
drum
fan bases
computer.
were in it. I was under the impression without even hearing it that it was a Devourment ripoff, just a Devourment
No,
wannabe
it's
band.
not. No, it's not.
Okay,
No,
I always had that impression that it's another band that wants to sound like Devourment.
no. It has a few of the elements here and there, but just here and there. As soon as you think, oh, this is going to get that way, he's blasting away again. And
Okay,
it's is definitely the riffs are way more catchy. Devourment is
because he's a drum machine
real.
as well. It's one man band, right?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
cymbals are real cymbals. So he uses drum machine, but then when he records, he does real cymbals.
Okay. Yes, I didn't know
And
like because I knew he did with live, but I didn't know if he recorded with drums because I remember hearing something about the band, but I knew going up there
yeah,
live, he's alone as well. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
the
he's
first
there
person to do
again as
that was
well.
Sean from Viral Load. I was like, and then when he
Yeah,
stopped
yeah,
doing
there's
Viral
two
Load,
Sean's.
yeah.
There's two Sean's. Yeah, Sean
Well,
from
yeah, I
Viral
was at
Load
the
and
Ohio
Sean
Death
from
Fest, and
Deicide.
same.
Yeah,
I remember me and my brothers are kind of laughing, like, yeah, it's kind of cool. What the fuck? He's up there all by himself. It's like they was
yeah,
taking
and then
Mortician in the next extreme because Mortician
yeah,
sometimes would play with the drum machine, and it would just be
yeah.
Will and Roger up there. It's like, fuck, that wasn't good
Mm.
enough. He's just going up there, just him, one guy. You thought it was low when it
Yeah,
was two guys.
yeah, yeah. To me, the first time I saw that, Sean Whitaker, I thought that was so fucking die hard. I was like, okay, man, you're really living for this shit, man. Holy shit, that was sick. And the same with everyone there, man. I mean, that whole party, it was like a big, huge fucking party, man. Everyone there for the same stuff. Everyone loved the sick shit. Flash Grind playing, remember, with
Well,
Rich.
speaking of, I probably should. I don't even know if you know. Maybe you did. I guess I should plug it. You know, Ohio Death Fest is coming back next year
I
as a
know.
pre-show to
Yeah,
my show. So
yeah. And
Friday, July 31st, 2026 will be Ohio Death Fest again. And then
yeah,
August 1st will be my show, both at the club, the Mercury in Lakewood,
yeah,
Ohio, which is an awesome club. That's why I purposely booked that club. It's a damn good club. It's fucking
yeah.
15 minutes from the airports. It's in a good part of town. It should be pretty cool, dude. I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good because it's my past show, this last one, fest show, whatever you want to call it, went really
Mhm.
well. I have a pretty damn good feeling, dude. That's good. And when I say cool, it's kind of like because you're there, the Ohio Death Fest vibes, because
Yeah.
there's people coming from all over, dude.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just like my show wasn't just like, oh, here's a few Cleveland fags. No, it wasn't. There was no Cleveland fags. It was people from all different states coming through all over. So it was
Mhm.
like a kind of a really cool big hang. It was pretty cool, dude. That's the closest thing I could compare it to was like Ohio Death Fest time. And now that
Yeah.
Brian's doing as well, and it's my second one, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be
I
pretty cool,
think
dude.
it's I think that weekend is going to be, yeah, because when I saw that he's going to bring back Ohio and then you guys having it like 2 days in the same club, I was like, oh damn, now I really got to look up some flights.
Yeah.
That's
Telling you,
interesting
dude, man,
because
if you want to
I
come
just
out,
know
Seth,
that the
I'm telling you, man.
bands.
If you want to come out, man, I'll cover all your shit. I'll cover your flight. You can even stay with me. I already told Lindsay. I already gave her the heads up. I was like, I know you hate it when people stay over. I was like, well, I don't like it when half your family members come over. I was like, Seth's staying with us. She's like, well, no, for him, I understand. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So just a
But
week before,
I'll pay my own flight. I'll pay my own flight. But let me say, I just know for sure that with the bands that Brian is going to book, 100% sure that I'm at least gonna know personally 50% of them because I know
probably.
his taste. I
He
think, and I
hasn't.
think even
He's only
more.
slightly mentioned one band so far. He's
Yeah,
even keeping on the record. I think he doesn't want me to spill the beans accidentally, which I
I
wouldn't
don't.
if he told me not to. But he hasn't even. So I
I
don't
can
even know
guess a
his
few.
list.
I
What's that?
can guess a few bands. I can guess a few bands.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
be.
I
Let
have
me
a
say.
couple guesses. I have a couple guesses too who I had in my mind. I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm curious. But he's dude. He's pumped. Like he's all about it.
Yeah. Looking at the other editions, I'm pretty confident that he has a band like Gorgasm in mind. You know.
That he should.
Uh,
I think that it would make sense. They're
yeah.
they're 6 hour. They're 6 hour drive. Dude, they haven't been in
Yeah.
Ohio in fucking forever. And he was in the
Yeah.
band, so it's like you at least somewhat know the guys. I mean, you have a hookup, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. And I mean, the Gorgasm guys are easy to approach, I guess. But I know pretty much all of them. I think the only one I never met is the drummer. The guy is playing drums now. But even John Hull, who was in Uncleansed and also in Viral Load when they had a full band. John is playing now for Gorgasm.
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
on
I don't know
bass
any of
and
the Gore.
vocals.
I only met one. Maybe it was Damon. I met one of the guys from Gorgasm briefly at Milwaukee Metal Fest a couple years ago. Mike Hamilton from Deeds of Flesh, Exhumed. He introduced them because like we were talking. He's like, "Oh, hey," I think it was like
Yeah,
quick, but that's I've never the other Gorgasm guys. Believe it or not, I never actually never even met.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Yeah, there's and yeah, I met the old members back in the day at Ohio because there was a guy, Tom, I think was his name,
Tom. I think
and
it was it. I think it was Tom and Damon. Weren't those the two main guys? I think
yeah,
so.
yeah, and I think Thomas, I wrote with him too back in the day because I
Okay.
think it was it Stab Wound Intercourse or was it the EP? No, I think it was Stab Wound Intercourse. I did some trades with him as well back in the day. But yeah, that's a band he could book. Levidity is a band he could get out there. That's typical Ohio Death Fest material, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Why not get Exhumed out there? They've played there. I mean, I could name a ton of bands, man. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's tons of stuff he could book there, and maybe some
Yeah.
some bands who are good in brutal
I'm.
death metal right now. I mean, Brodequin would be a good choice. Defeated
It would
Sanity would
be.
be a good choice.
Yeah. I mean.
Rexium.
Yeah, and again, and I knew when he brought it up, I was like, it should be easy for him. I'm like, I mean, you known all these
Oh yeah.
guys longer than anybody I know. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
so
And then there's gonna be a lot of people harassing him, like, "Hey, this is my band. Can we also play?"
dude, I've already gotten that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
kind of like, I don't
yeah,
know, dude. Like to me, like, I've ranted around about that. To me, that's just kind of tacky. It's not tacky, for example, if like if it was a band that I've talked about on the channel organically, and
yeah,
then they came, oh, he likes my band, and then ask, that's fine. But if
yeah,
it's like I've never brought you up, and it's just like, ugh,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like
Well, then you might check them out, and then coincidentally, they're so badass that you're like, "Holy shit, yeah, I'm gonna
that's
book you." But
possible.
that
But
chance is like
the reason
half a
I think
percent.
it's cheesy is probably not even for the reason that people think. It's because it's like it's almost like what are you supposed to say? Because in today's society where everybody's a wimp and gets offended,
Yeah,
it's like it's almost like you have to say yes, otherwise you look like a oh now this guy's a dick. You mean you don't like my band, bro? So you're in that
yeah,
scenario. Granted, yeah, the 1% chance that you said that holy fuck, this is amazing. That's possible,
yeah.
but it's more than likely not going to. Plus, it's not going to be the case majority of the time. You
But
know,
still, hey, how about this? All the really killer bands, the ones that really sound good, they're just not the type of guys that are gonna come and book my band. That's
no,
the cool thing. It's always the shitty bands that do that.
100%,
The cool
100%.
bands, they're way too polite most of the times, and
Yeah, it
then
seems that
they
way. Yeah,
might, yeah, they might get picked up and they might get lucky. But I
yeah,
see so many good bands. It's like, hey, you should be the ones playing there or pushing it. But they
mhm.
don't because they know they look like a fool because
Yeah,
they get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why they're a good band and not a shitty band, you
Right,
know?
right.
Same
Yeah.
with metal battles. Shall we do that the next time?
What is it?
About the metal battle?
I don't even know what
You
that
never
is.
heard of that over here? If you
Uh,
want to play a contest with your band, and you get the first round, the second round, half finals, the finals, you get to play Wacken. And I think you're a total fucking jackass for doing it that way.
well, but how do they decide who wins?
The jury, the same way
How
you
many people? How
guys,
many people on
the
the
same
jury?
guys that's the same guys what you do with criminals, we do with bands.
But
For
how many people on
criminals,
the
you
jury?
have a judge,
How
but you
many on the
got a jury.
jury?
Yeah.
How
Well,
many
they have a
jurors are there?
jury, and they look at a band, and
Yeah.
then they put values on it. But now, yeah, I shouldn't do the whole topic, but let me explain it. They give them points for stage presence, originality,
Don't get me on that panel
um,
for stage presence.
technical play, and how good are you on social media?
Oh
And
my
those are the
god,
criteria. So you
that shouldn't
you
even be
you
on the
know for
criteria.
sure, yeah. So
Yeah,
you know for sure you're gonna have a jackass band as a winner
1000%.
that everyone kind of likes, but no one, because the good bands are usually the bands when you have a jury with, let's say, 6 people, two of them are gonna love it and the rest is gonna hate it, or four are gonna love it, two are gonna hate it. But everything that's in between is a half-ass band, you know. So the
Yeah,
good
yeah.
bands, and even and like I say, the good bands, they don't even do metal battles, man. They're like, fuck this shit.
I
This
mean,
is
dude,
not what.
push. That'd be my. If I started a band and somebody asked me that, I would look at you like, no, I would
Yeah,
like. Why would I
it's a
do that?
band contest, and I think if you commit to a band contest, please, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I didn't even
Go
know
back to
that.
the rehearsal room, make a good demo, send it up, and if I'm convinced, I'm gonna buy it off you. I'm gonna pay you the money for it, you know, and I'm gonna buy your album as well. But fuck off with your metal battle.
Yeah, and not to
Yeah,
mention, you kind of like. It's almost like it's almost like mom asked to get you on the bill for walking. Like you're playing. It's like you weren't like legitimately asked to perform. Like you weren't like contacted like,
this is
hey, we want you to play. Like you got like, oh yeah, but by the way, we had to invite these guys. It's like that kind of
yeah.
treatment. You know what I mean?
There's even bands online asking for votes.
Oh
You
god,
can vote for us. Yeah, that's what it's going to. You know, that's how fucking pathetic it is.
it's totally pathetic.
Yeah, yeah. And if you
But
talk to young
the
people,
mindset
like,
should be that yeah, if you're doing a band, your mindset should be you're putting out stuff that you believe in.
yeah,
You're expecting nobody to like it. If they do, that's just a bonus.
yeah. And music is anything but a match. It's not a contest.
It's not a boxing match.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Because I know if it would be a boxing match, I know you don't play an instrument, but you probably beat me at boxing with those arms. Yeah.
Well, Postway, have you ever attended one of those?
What, a
The
boxing match?
no, the metal bells or bell, whatever you call it.
Oh,
Have you
hell
ever?
no. Oh, well, whoa. This is a funny one. We were asked Christopher Torture one time. There was the national championship death metal grunting. I
Okay.
shit you not.
Uh-huh.
It was in The Hague, and it was the finals. So the best grunters of Holland came to do a battle, and we were asked to play like as like some after show or whatever, you know. So this whole fucking thing was done, and then they got a winner, and then Severe Torture would play a set. We never doubted more about should we do this or not than with that show. We
Okay.
all had like we all had like collective itchy balls, you know, when we heard about that whole thing. We were there. We laughed our asses off, man. I mean, what we saw there was just, it was pathetic. It was really
Dude, what I'm
fucking
picturing,
pathetic.
I'm literally picturing like that Back to the Future goddamn line where the kid's like trying out, like, God, oh no, guys, you're too loud, you're too loud. When they're trying out their rock bands in the '80s, like I'm just picturing these fucking nerds, like, just like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? That's what I'm
And
envisioning.
you know what the thing is, you know, not with that one, you know, because that didn't really, the one that won that is not like he got a career out of that or something. But with this metal battle thing, I mean, a band wins it, they get to play walking. And I shit you not, a lot of kiddos is like, wow, man, they're really doing good. These guys are great. And now they play walking. And some of these bands actually grow further and further. Hey, man, I never played walking. And then there's people that say, like, hey, you shit on those metal battles, but you never played walking. I was like, yeah, that's right. I never played walking, but I don't want to, you know, if I play walking, I want walking to ask my band, like, hey, we want you on the bill. Uh, you still there? I think you can't hear me. Oh, no.